yeah, we did consider roster changes, but at the end of the day, we discussed it with every single individual in the team that we potentially wanted to replace, and just decided as a team and as the management group to give them another chance.
You know, maybe it's a dream, maybe it's a bit of a shock, but that's what hard work does. So you should be very proud of yourself, and I'm sure you are.
Yeah,
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals, bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22bet.
Are you tired of your boring old skins and looking for beautiful new ones? Tradeit.gg is your place to go for easy and secure trades within seconds. Simply pick and choose whatever item you want to trade from Tradeit's huge inventory. Verify the trade on Steam and you're ready. With the lowest fees in the market and a beautiful, easy-to-use UI, Tradeit also offers you the option to instantly sell your items for cash. We accept a wide variety of payment methods. Tradeit.gg is the go-to place whenever you want to try out fancy new skins. Start trading today at Tradeit.gg.
It's a good vibe, train. It's a good vibe, train. It's a good vibe, train. Good vibe, train.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans around the globe, welcome back to another episode of HLTV Confirmed. We are coming to you live and direct here on a Thursday night from XPERION in Cologne, Germany, for IEM Cologne 2023. So we have an audience, and they all just went very, very quiet. Lucas, put the camera on them. And look at that.
magical. Yeah.
Magic. Now, I'm going to wander around. I have freedom right now. I
have no idea what you're saying.
I would love to hear what you're saying.
You don't need to know. You don't, but I have freedom. I can walk around. It's going to be really hard for the camera people. But thank you, everybody, for coming out here. We just were talking before we went live. A lot of familiar faces in the crowd, a bunch of people who we see from event to event. And that's amazing because you're part of this. You know, you're with us at all these different places all over Europe. It is really cool to see this kind of, I guess, love of a Counter-Strike family that we're building, right? Fans, people, everybody, we're all here for the same reason. So fantastic to have everybody turning out tonight. And I want to just quickly thank some of our sponsors before I get too far down the track. We got SteelSeries, 22bet, Tradeit.gg. That's a new one. I got to get used to that one. And XPERION. Now, there's even taglines to go with those. We'll come to those later. You know, I'll bring them up.
I thought for a second that you were going to throw it at me and like test me for the taglines.
No,
which would be kind of rude, but so I'm thankful that you're not doing that.
I realized that I didn't bring it up on the laptop before I started talking, and it wasn't going to be off the top of my brain. So it's all good. But those are the sponsors. We can thank them. That's great news. And we also have the signs again. Now, if you were with us on the last show, if you're watching with the crowd, we were kind of gathering how everybody felt with the signs. Now, I've already told you guys how it's going at home. We got SteelSeries, that's for hot. We've got Tradeit, that's for, we're cooling off a bit. And we've got Upside Down, 22bet, that's for cold, all right? We might use that throughout the evening. No, we definitely will use that throughout the evening. But obviously, we got Prof and Striker here with me. Gentlemen, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Very excited. As you said, very thankful.
There's good energy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good energy.
Yeah.
When is it not a good energy?
I don't know everybody here, but my entire mood shifted as soon as Axel got into the country. I went, things are okay. And now Axel's here. Yeah. Right?
I mean, it was the same for me.
Yeah?
It was the same for me. I'm like, okay, we're going into the playoffs, and suddenly there's this uncertainty still. You know, they said you would be coming back, and suddenly everything's fine.
Yeah. Shout out to the visa people. Whoever approved that visa, shout out to that guy.
I hope they're Counter-Strike fans as well, right? Helping us out here because that Vitality versus Cloud9 match just got a whole lot hotter. But we'll get to that a little bit later. We have a lot of news to get through this evening. Some new news.
Some very
come out.
interesting.
Very, very new news.
Yes, so I don't want us to faff around too long here, but just to give everybody at home, because I gave it to everybody in the studio an understanding, we're going to be talking a bit about the recent news. We're going to be diving into Valve's latest announcement. We'll spend some time talking about that. We're going to be bringing in NertZ from ENCE. We're going to be bringing in some management from G2 as well as Swani the coach. So for the Germans, we got you a German. You know, they're hard to find, but we got you one. Then as we move forward, we've got Heccu here. She might come join us as we talk and do a bit of a preview about the playoffs and whatnot. But we want to get you guys giving your opinions, getting on the mic, all that good stuff, as well as the people in Twitch chat at home. So Lucas, roll the bumper. Let's get into the recent news. Now, I hope the people at home heard the sound effect, because it was a bit, they did.
The sound, it's...
I can't tell if Lucas said that he did or they didn't.
Who knows?
They did.
But,
They did.
yeah, but I would try... I would ask for a refund if there's no sound, for sure.
In the arena, in here?
Yeah.
Didn't they pay you?
Yes.
Ah, well, that's the man you need to see. He won't be going anywhere. Refunds will be at the door, apparently. Okay, so we do need to get into the recent news, but let's start with some of the, I guess, more fun topics?
Fun topics.
Well, no, they're not even fun topics. The topics that we don't really need to spend too much time on.
Yeah.
So maybe they're the boring topics, not the fun topics. All right, let's start with this. Well, this one here is, I don't.
Maybe we can ask people what they want to talk, what they want us to talk about.
No. I read NEOFRAG out of ITB, and I thought we won't start there. We'll go somewhere else before we get to that one, shall we? Let's start with let's start with this one. Gamers8 format just got announced. It's single elimination. Okay.
Chat and formats.
Let's just start here because we get formats out of the way immediately, and we only need hot and cold, right? Yeah. I think I'd had it wrong before. Either way. We're going to do SteelSeries or Trader, all right? Do you like the idea of just one tournament in the year being a single elimination
That guy already
bracket?
has cold. He didn't even listen to the question.
Okay.
He's already out.
Red for yes, and we'll go trade it for no. Okay, see, it was a loaded question. Some of you, it's actually pretty split.
It's kind of 50-50 right there, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So we have a mixed bag from the crowd here. So some people think, yeah, it's good. Some people think, nah, it's bad. And I think that's actually on par with what the community think, because I read a lot of comments about it. They're like, what a shit format, this sucks. Imagine going all the way to Saudi Arabia, play one game and you're out. It's like, well, guys, how many chances do we need?
We have so many tournaments where there's a million games that mean nothing.
Actually, maybe the most recent news that we just read would change that conversation going forward, right? So right now, this is on topic, but maybe in the future it won't be. But we've spoken about this plenty of times before. I feel like we're open to new formats, right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, why does everything have to be the same, right? Like, why does something can be more cutthroat and that creates more excitement,
different.
right? Of course.
Yeah, they say change is as good as a holiday. Prof, do you have anything to add here?
Holidays are great. I've been on a holiday recently. Amazing.
Thanks, Prof.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's why you're looking browner than me right now. I didn't really work on my tan as much as
You said you were going to the beach every day.
I was, but I've already been here for a week and a half and it's been raining nonstop. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the weather here.
The weather is... The only thing worse than the internet here is the weather.
It's actually insane. It's been raining every day. I can't quite believe it. They all enjoy that. Is German internet that bad?
Well,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who told me this, but like everything about Germany is a lie. It's like...
Well, we got an Aussie bloke in the front. I'll tell you, I guarantee you we got worse internet than everybody else in this room, even the Brits. Our internet sucks. You can't get worse internet than Australia.
There's no excuses for Germany to have everything routes to Frankfurt. How's the internet bad?
Tell me how the trains are always late when they're
How are the trains always late? Where's the German efficiency?
I don't know. Who knows? Okay,
God.
so we got that quick one about G8 out of the way. Done, dusted, no dramas. Okay, TSM's roster. Striker, can you name it without looking it up? What it was meant to be?
Wow, he's putting me on the spot. Valda, Cypher. I was going to say Inters, but he's not actually in it, no? Oh, he is in it.
It was meant to be.
Inters is there.
Modo.
Modo, yeah, right. That's the Romanian guy. And
You know,
who am I missing?
You know it. Aggressive, low frag.
Jax.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. So the roster with
handsome as well.
with Xtaz as the coach, right? This was meant to be the roster.
He was meant to be, yes.
Yes, that's what was speculated to go to TSM. Now, apparently, TSM have pulled the rug, which was no surprise to a lot of people on the internet, apparently.
That's not actually necessarily so true. I mean, that's still kind of up in the air.
Give us the
That's-
truth
that's
then,
true.
Striker.
I mean, look, I don't know.
I want the truth.
Absolute latest information, I don't know, but the report that came out was that there's some shaky terms between the players and the organization, and that XSTAS is the only one that's actually out. XSTAS actually did confirm that to me, so at least that part is definitely true.
Okay, so
the
no
rest of
coach.
it is kind of shaky, I think.
But wasn't the stuff that came out that they didn't want to pay for a boot camp when it's not a major coming up?
Look, I don't know how much this is. I have not heard that specifically from anybody other than KRL, right?
Yes,
I think it
'cause
was
he
the
did the
guy who
tweet,
said
yes,
this,
yes.
right? He claims this. He almost claims as if he has that from XSTAS because XSTAS doesn't want to be the one who wants to. It's just like so many people were like, XSTAS would never say this, but he told me this.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know.
Well, I wanted to gauge people's interest on the roster, but is anybody interested in that roster we just listed? Raise your hand. You don't even need to pull up a sign. Does anybody?
There's one guy.
Okay.
Right there.
Do you want to come down here? Come on down. We'll put you on the spot, Mr. G2. Come on. Is this hopefully?
This is a Jax fan. This is a Jax
Hopefully
fan.
this microphone is on right here. There's a microphone right here in front of this camera. Yeah, I would love to hear why you're excited by that roster. Make me a fan.
Cypher.
That's it. All right. Well, back you
Good
go.
one.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input here this evening. Okay, fair enough.
Sometimes things are simple as
It's
that.
simple as that. All right, and that's a good enough reason. That's the only reason he needs. And we got some extra steps in for him today. So there you go. We're looking after everybody. All right. Well, that's TSM news done. Do you guys have anything you want to say about this? No? Okay. No, I'm with you. I like that. All right. You boys happy? Content with where we're
Yeah.
at? All right.
Now let's move on from
We'll
TSM.
keep rolling
Nobody
through. We'll
else.
keep rolling through. All right. Well, let's talk about this one, huh? So the NEOFRAG
Here
out
we
of
go.
ITB. Now,
Are you going to ask the question?
no, I don't. I don't want people to speculate on what he possibly did or said. But either way, it is very rare to see an organization come out and explain the players' bullshit when they get rid of them. Normally, it's we part ways with such and such. It's never usually we part ways with such and such because they do not align with the ethics and morals of which we see the world. And this guy's clearly said some bad stuff within practice, within whatever. I have no idea. I'm not there. I don't know. But it can't be good, right? You're not getting rid of a player like. Am I understanding the situation? You guys keep giving each other eyes.
No, I mean,
Stop giving each other eyes.
No.
Give me
you
the
got
eyes.
You got it right. Something happened behind the scenes somewhere in practice, and that's basically why he got kicked.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
and the coach is gone.
Yeah.
He left before.
Yeah,
a couple
I mean,
days
that
ago.
might be
He
for the
priced himself.
better overall. Like, obviously, NeoFrag was brought in to be like kind of the more experienced star player on the team. He wasn't really delivering in that side. This is like completely not the reason why he was cut, but maybe it helps them in the long run, right?
Sure. Yep.
So, and yeah, people are immature, you know?
Yep.
People play in like local teams and then go international and don't really adapt to the social expectations.
Yeah, and I would say we're pretty loosey-goosey around some of that stuff already to like considering it's not like a corporate
Yeah.
office job, right? We
Yeah.
don't work, so the boundaries are already a little bit lax compared to what it would normally be. And then, so you must have said some really heinous
I just want to
shit.
say, like,
I swear all the time. I'm definitely not getting fired for saying heinous shit. I'm saying that much.
yeah, but the thing is, like, you can't also be like a bad individual. Like, I don't see.
Oh, you're saying it gave them a reason to get rid of him?
Like, the thing is, like, he's just in a position now that who the fuck is gonna hire this guy, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he goes
There's
back
no
to,
really. It's not like, you know,
he goes back to Sinners. It's a perfect name for it, right?
Yeah. You know
that
what-
would fit aptly.
They already had one reunion happen before with Oscar,
when we were
so
sit-
might as well just bring back NeoFrag. That's the lineup that actually made something happen, right?
There we
So
go.
might as well try the whole Last Dance thing. You know, we know how good that went for the Brazilians.
Band term.
Do you remember when we were sitting in Brazil and the conflict thing came out and he was like kicked from Astralis and all of this, and Striker was like, he's too good of a player, someone's gonna hire him, and we were like, no.
Yeah.
You know,
But he was
NeoFrag isn't too
right.
good of a player.
That's true.
Oh.
That's
Alright.
the problem.
Well, that's the end of NeoFrag. All right. Well, this is where I'd like to grab the fun stuff and handball it to Prof.
Okay.
So the Vox Pop, Prof.
Okay.
Do you want to ask the question to the room?
Oh, how do I
do you
frame
want to
this
use
question?
the signs?
Yeah, we're going to use the signs. We're
Alright.
going to use the signs. This is a Vox Pop by 22bet. Essentially, what we're going to do, let's just use the 22bet for this one. And the question is the following. If you think that Cologne is on par or better than a major, pull up the 22bet sign.
Wow. Holy shit.
Well, do you think they'd all be here otherwise?
I don't know. I think some of the people here were also at a major. Who was at the major at some point?
I can see lots of people. I have here, majors from here.
A lot of people.
I can see a lot of familiar faces who I've definitely seen at majors before.
Yeah, so this is actually like 90% said yes.
Okay, so what are you telling me with that? What is your
don't-
survey?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
But it's showing you some
As
dedicated
an ESL
Counter-Strike.
shield, how do you feel? Did you get the,
It really warms my
got the chills?
my cold, dead, money-filled heart.
You know, there's one argument. There's one argument for it to be even better, which is that the qualification system means that like all the best teams make it because it's based on the entire year, right, or half a year. Let's say I'm dating back to Katowice, right?
Can you go
and-
into more detail in this?
Well, let's say
Striker?
for the
this is where the ESL shield
well, let's say
comes
for
out
the
of.
major, obviously. I mean, we know how many teams from kind of like the open circuit can. Obviously, this is a good thing for a lot of people, and so. But obviously, it will create space for flukes. So some teams who just had a one good qualifier, you know, let's say
Sure.
a good RMR, you know, will just suddenly make it, but they didn't necessarily didn't deserve it because of their half-a-year performance. You know, the stability wasn't there. While for Katowice's Colognes, we have all the best teams. You know. At least, you know, obviously, you know, people can make the argument about partnership leagues and how much that has fed into Katowice and Cologne and blah, 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 all that stuff. But technically, it is the best teams of the past half a year.
Yeah.
This Cologne, I mean, obviously, there's been so many changes that who the fuck knows who's the best at this point.
Yes.
But funnily enough, we got all of the best, like the biggest names. Like FaZe missed out, Navi to some degree, but they made huge changes. Like FaZe is probably the team that if you put them in the playoffs, it's like, this is on paper the perfect playoff.
Yeah, that is.
But isn't it?
But,
there's only
but
6
for
teams
me,
left.
the reason why I completely disagree with everyone here is like we can't just judge it by the outcome, right? The outcome can happen in different ways, and obviously you need to set it up a certain way to get a good outcome. But honestly, the only issue with majors is the seeding. Like it definitely has a more in-depth group stage, like 2 Swiss systems versus like two best of threes.
Okay.
2 best of threes to get to the arena, essentially.
Yes.
In Cologne, like it's a much more, it's not more cutthroat, but it gives you like
Ease of
more
access.
games
Yes.
to play to determine who is better.
Well,
Yes.
technically at the major, I mean, you have 2 best of ones plus the best of threes.
Yeah.
It's basically 2 best of threes that put you in the playoffs.
I guess the only argument is you play
if you
against
have
more
for the
teams,
legends anyway, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You'd have more
but
checks and balances.
honestly, like the seeding is the problem for majors right now. And if the seeding was better, I don't think anyone would think what they think right now.
What a great segue, Prof. We'll bring up just quickly what the people at home said. So Dimitri, feels seen. It was 50% of the people who voted think that it's almost the same as a major. And then
53?
Yeah, just under 30% very close, 13% relatively close, and 7% it's big, but it isn't close.
Yeah.
So
obviously
I see the
people
variance
that are
was-
here are a bit more biased towards like Cologne being, I wonder why.
Yeah, well, because they'd have a good time. All right, well, let's jump into the next piece of news. Now, this one here, I'll have to add to my little bar so that the people at home can see it.
What are we talking about, the Valve stuff?
The Valve stuff, yeah. So I don't know, what should we call it? Valve News. Isn't that a Valve News network? I guess.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's try and steal some clips here, shall we?
Are we,
There we go. There we go. Is it going to bang?
Are you
Look at
breaking
this.
some copyrights here? What's up?
I don't know. I think I can steal the name. He stole it from a company. All right. So this piece of news is huge. I prefaced this to everybody in-house before we got underway here today, but this was talking about the announcement from CS account to do with a change going forward. Now, this change is massive. I will read the little headline on HLTV. Valve to end team and tournament organizer partnership starting in 2025. So Counter-Strike's IP owner will put limits to the way tournaments are run when it comes to invitations and partnerships between teams and TOs.
Let's just translate to people, partnerships are dead.
So essentially, the Louvre agreement that we talk about all the time with ESL, which is 14 and 15 teams?
Maybe even
15
16
now,
now.
I think. No,
Yeah.
15.
15 teams. And the Blast partner teams, which is 12 teams, that will not be able to exist as of the year 2025. So
This is about, I mean, in total, it should be about, how many is the non-overlap? Is like 3 organizations or something?
OG is,
Fnatic, Mousesports, Science,
Yes.
and Blast.
yes. There's one more.
So about,
And ENCE is
Yes,
the
ENCE
Blast.
isn't either, yeah.
so let's say there's around about 20 teams who this affects.
Yes. Okay, so the reason that this is such a big deal, and I understand that a year and a half is a long way away, but time goes pretty damn quick these days, is because the way that, for example, these events are run are going to have to change completely. They'll no longer, you will never, after next year, and maybe that'll even change with Blast next year, I don't know, but I can guarantee you in 2025, you will not have to watch a group stage like you do with Blast where it's only partner teams playing against each other and they have 3 or 4 chances to try and qualify. That won't exist anymore, which is fantastic because in recent history, we've all understood that that is causing some low-stakes games, which is not entertaining Counter-Strike. And the thing that we all want to watch is the best teams in the world trying to kill each other, right? That's what we're there for. We want to see everybody just trying to beat each other, and we hope our best team wins, right? Now, this news, I just want to cite this for a second. Richard Lewis put an article out on his, was it his Substack? Yeah, it was. This is about 2 months ago, right? So this is during the Paris Major time. And the headline reads, in meetings at the Paris Major, Valve representatives expressed their distaste of the current partner leagues ecosystem and stated their desire for change to a more open structure for the release of CS2. So Richard was already onto this back when the Major was going on, which tells me Valve are at the Major. Valve are obviously having conversations with some of these, teams or orgs or whatever, right? And they ask a lot of questions. I'll tell you that much. Valve ask a lot of questions. They love to ask questions because they want to find out the why. So in some of the why, probably working out, do we like the way the ecosystem is right now? And I'm pretty vocal on telling you I'd like it to be open. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there who are saying that they'd like it to be open.
Basically, what you're saying, you had a conversation with Valve, you said you hated it, and that's the reason why we're here.
Well, no, I did. Look, I said that I'd prefer it to be open. That's what I
mean, if they open Twitter, Reddit, or HLTV
get that
forums,
everywhere.
They're going to find the same sentiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but
even the pro players, like everyone's talking about the same thing. Is like Navi just made a new team, went to play Blast, won a few games. Now they're top 20 in the world.
Well, I'll let you know something here, everybody. You're currently sitting in the presence of somebody by the Valve rankings who's ranked number 55th in the world.
Who could that be?
That's me with Pimp, Imme, Taddy, and who was our 5th?
I don't know.
You should know.
Anyway, I'm ranked 50th.
NBK was up.
NBK, Nathan, yes, of course.
Let's go.
So, yeah, the Valve rankings still need a lot of work, too.
So you would be in, like, close qualifier for the Major.
I could make it. I could have a crack at it. But, yeah, so right now with this news is probably some of the biggest Counter-Strike landscape news in a very, very long time, maybe since the partnerships were announced, right? This is the
ecosystem,
right?
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
like this is insane. Like, there's a few different ways that you can look at this, but the guarantee is the Louvre agreement and the Blast partner teams will have to wind up their business next year.
Yeah.
Right. So the landscape of the way that Counter-Strike looks in 2025, with either the potential for new tournament organizers or underdog teams, maybe teams that we haven't heard of, to qualify. There has to be more qualifiers. There has to be more ways into these events.
For me, the first thing that I think about is like that dude over there with an Apex jersey, for example, that's on his phone. Why are you on your phone, man?
Well, he's tweeting about us right now. Hey, but you're talking about the Apex team, right?
No, but like teams, a lot of teams can't get good players because they don't have partnership slots, right? And partnership slots are limited, and no one wants to play in Apex because they don't have a Blast spot, they don't have an ESL spot, they don't have any security.
So
and what happens now
yes.
is like a team like Apex and a lot of different orgs can have a better like way into the scene because it's more open to everyone.
Yeah,
I mean not right now, but obviously in 2025.
It's all going to be about meritocracy, right? If you're a good team, you're going to draw in the best players, let's say. Or if you continue to build good teams, like, and I don't know, you can throw out the name like ENCE, who are like continuously mouse even, like if you want to go down on like some of these like lower tier partners, let's say, those teams have continuously built competitive teams, and so those are now even more worth because they haven't been able to, or they haven't necessarily needed to rely on investments to be competitive, unlike all the big dogs, who had all the big players.
There's I think something that'll be a problem for the players is they will go back to feeling like they're getting thrown through the ringer. If more tournament organizers come out, right now we have a pretty good balance, right? The players you might hear at the moment go, Pro League sucks, it's 5 weeks. Pro League for a player is only 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Right? It's only 2 weeks. And in the rest of the time, they either get to stay in Malta and play, or they go home, right? Then you think of other events. Other people go, oh yeah, but let's say Cologne is 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks for 6 teams. It's not 2 weeks for everybody. The majority of the field are out after the first 4 days, right? So when we think about all of this, if more events pop up, and it's like it was back in 2016, 2017, 2018, when we were on the road 300 plus days a year, we'd go from event to event to event. It was a traveling circus of insanity. If we have so many TOs step back into the ring that opens up, what you're going to hear from the players is there's too many events and someone needs to do something about it. Because from the players right now, if you're a partner team, you have to do Blast and ESL events, that's a lot. That's their entire year done. There's not even any time to go to a Hussar Cup or play a Thunder Pick or do any of this stuff, right? You kind of just have to do those 2 things. Where I'm getting to this is, and this is the thing that they never did They never did this. And they just kind of turn towards their bosses, or they turn towards the community, or they turn towards the TO, and they go, oh, someone do something. This is where them, as players, are going to have it in their contracts with the teams that they don't get overworked, that they don't go to every tournament, that they take some time off.
Yeah.
Because it can't go back to how it was. It's not sustainable. People need to be more selective.
So the contract should be like X amount of days on the road, you know?
Yes, exactly. And it doesn't seem like a big thing now, but I guarantee you we can cite this conversation in 2025 when shit's going nuts. And we can say these people, you know, they need to, because we know how these guys are.
Yeah.
We know what's going to happen.
You know what's a slight problem with that is the way that Valve will run the circuit, let's say from 2025.
Yeah.
Their current ranking works based on prize pool. So whoever
The
comes
more
in
you
and-
play.
Exactly. Whoever comes in and puts like $1 million on the line or whatever, and just knowing that will just immediately draw teams, you will just have to play it.
Yeah, so
otherwise, you will just lose ranking spots because it was
Other
so much
people
money
are
on the
earning
line.
it.
There was so many ranking points that they would be losing if they don't attend. So this was going to force them even more.
But with this, right, maybe we should read exactly what it says here for everybody. We need to get NertZ in here soon. I don't want to
Yeah,
run too
we
long.
should.
I'll get him here in 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah,
He can come talk to us about it if he wants. We'll get NertZ's opinion on this shit.
maybe.
He can say it's okay.
Yeah, well, if he comes out, he comes out. He can hear us. Okay. 3 rules Valve has broadly announced while still working on the finer details. Tournament organizers will no longer have unique business relationships or other conflicts of interest with teams that participate in their events. Good. Invitations to all tournaments will use our ranking system, detailed here, or otherwise be determined by open qualifiers. Now that next part, right, to Striker's point about the ranking, if you don't want to play all the events, you're going to have to play the gauntlet of the qualifiers, which at some point we know will probably be best of ones online.
Yeah,
Right?
and overlapping with other events.
Exactly. But my point here is that you don't have to play all the other events if you just selectively want to try and qualify, because, right, if these events are open, it means that you won't just have 12 teams automatically invited to an event and we expect to see them. Maybe your favorite team won't make it to every event anymore. And we've seen that. The majors is a good example. Like, upsets can happen. So
Yeah.
Counter-Strike is going to be more like, I feel like the tennis rankings, right? Like, that's how I feel like this is going to work, right?
Feels pretty chaotic.
Yeah, which is good and bad. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited about this. Do we want to talk about this more?
No, maybe in a week.
Yeah, okay, in a week. We'll
Yeah.
let it settle
I mean,
in.
look, there's a year and a half for all these rules to come into play.
I know, but this
and
is like
things that.
Christmas.
I know, I understand. I felt the same way. So
It's like, it's hard not to smile about this. Like, it's like, yeah, okay. All right. Let's not keep nerds waiting any
Did
longer.
we ask the people what they think?
Well,
What's
we
their
can, oh,
first
yeah.
reaction?
Well, okay. Well, you want to ask the question?
Yeah, let's just go from like SteelSeries for like good to trade it for bad, or 22 bet for like mid. What do you guys think? Okay.
Was SteelSeries good?
Overwhelmingly.
there's one guy who said it's bad.
Yeah, there's a
there.
few
He's
people
got
that don't like it, but most people.
Should we get the opinion on why it's bad?
Yeah,
I'm
let's do it.
curious.
Pick someone.
Come and explain your point.
Here we go. Come on down. The price is right.
Kind of looks like a Misuta.
Why is it bad?
Well, I think we kill like the only way to make esport ox profitable.
Oh, we've got a franchise fan, ladies and
go.
gentlemen. Oh, no, that's okay. That's
How much did Carmack pay you for this?
I think the problem is more in like Valve's handling on all these matters, because Valve is just stepping in there when they don't like something. They just leave it free for all, like a deathmatch. Every tournament organizer can make up their own rules, and if Valve don't like anything, they just step in and say, I don't like this, and then they leave all door open.
I have a question for you then. Would you prefer what you just described, or would you prefer Valve to operate where they control every single detail?
Not like Riot is doing like this stuff. I don't like it how tight they having this, but maybe like more people looking onto the circuit and maybe have like more of a rule set themselves. It's just like you have these blog posts and these are the rules, for example. It's not like...
Yeah, but
Yeah, the blog posts are pretty passive aggressive. At least this last one. No one will be able to do this. Like, okay,
no,
man.
and what you're bringing up here are fair points, because from the outside looking in, it looks like, you know, God looks down but through the clouds and he goes, well, that's fucked up, and he just changes it. He doesn't ask any questions. But
I mean,
Now we're gonna have a flood.
But here's the thing. Valve, what do? They make video games. They don't run tournaments, right? They don't run any of their own tournaments. The people who have more expertise in running tournaments than Valve are your ESLs, are your Blasts, are your Starlighters, are your PGLs. They have more expertise in what is necessary to run a tournament. Just like a team owner has more expertise in how to run a successful org than Valve. So with this from Valve, this tells me a few things. It tells me they've asked the question, they've spoken to a lot of people, and they have their own philosophy. It's their game. They get to decide how things are run. And if things are not going the way that they like, they'll, you know, poke the beehive. They'll make an annoyance. But that's because they don't like the direction that things are going, and they want it to go in a different direction. So these things might seem vague, and they might not make a lot of sense, but I imagine there's a lot of meetings going on behind the doors that we will never hear and we will never see, and we'll never understand. But essentially what this does is it makes the two biggest leaders in our industry of events right now reevaluate the way that they do business, right? It makes them think what is better for the greater good of Counter-Strike, because that's what Valve want, right? Valve have one interest, it's the game. They don't care about all the other bullshit. So I think the people who this hurts the most is probably not us, the viewers. It's not even, it's actually probably the teams themselves, because they made these partnerships deals with a Blast, with an ESL, to guarantee themselves revenue, right? And what that does is, that means that these top teams who are partner teams get to have this little belt, right? Where if anybody else tries to come up, they just get told to fuck off, right? Because you can't break in unless you have $3 million plus. So Valve have made it now, the team owners will be fucking filthy, mate. I guarantee you that. They will be spitting chips. They will be really mad. And the other people who will probably be worse off in the long run will be players. Because if your org is no longer getting a guarantee of money anymore from partnered orgs, they're not going to have as much money to be able to facilitate.
But the players are the only ones who are making money, man.
Exactly. But they might earn less money. They'll still be rich. They just won't be filthy rich, right? And I think right there, these flow-on effects of this stuff in the future is to make Counter-Strike more accessible to everybody, which is, I think, the whole point. Like Valve tend to want to make the game that you play at home as close to the game that we all watch and love of the professionals playing. It's meant to be accessible. But your viewpoint,
why not limit the spending? Like in Formula 1, you have limited the spending, and now you see teams coming up from back of the grid up to the top, for example.
Yeah.
Or like franchise leagues in North America are also like these. You have a limit on spending, and that's like balances out the thing. So they have like few dominant years, but they have to rebuild at some point.
Well, here's my assumption. My assumption is that Valve don't want to be as hands-off as possible. That's my assumption. The more you build a structure, the more work you have to do. And I think human beings inherently...
need to be huge oversight, and you never know like what...
I think you're 5 minutes.
Sorry. I'll get nerds. But good chat. We'll keep it up later. I'm getting nerds. Be right back.
I'll just make one like
you keep
counterpoint. I can keep talking. I mean, this point, and I mean, it's a fair point. You know, like it's if we presume that this is profitable, you know, or this is making Counter-Strike profitable, it makes sense, right? But it is built upon the premise that team organizations that are partnered with ESL or Blast are actually helping the ecosystem to become profitable. And now I'm not sure that that's necessarily true. You know, like, do they drive more viewership? Do they drive more like people buying merch and all that stuff, more money coming into the system? You know, would we be better off with just many more organizations being able to do that or not? That's basically the question, you know?
Oh, my microphone's off. And introducing NertZ! It got a bit businessy there for a while, mate. We started talking business and money and all that good stuff. So now we're here to talk about the real stuff. And thank you for joining us here this evening.
Thank you.
You got a nice round of applause there. There are going to be 10,000 people giving you a round of applause in a couple of days. You're in the bloody Lanxess Arena, mate. How does that feel?
I cannot even imagine something better, like from what I saw in IEM Dallas. Like I saw Apex interview with you, Sponge. And
yeah.
Like you ask him like, what do you think is better, Lanxess or in Paris? And he said like, I remember when I saw the Paris Major, and it was amazing. And he said like Lanxess is better than the Paris Major. This is insane. Like I never saw something like that before.
And you've only recently just like appeared on the big screens, mate. Like you were over. We're going to talk about Endpoint in a bit, but this year for you, like holy shit, things have happened quick, huh?
Yeah. I didn't believe it would be so fast. I will be honest. Because I will say like a secret. I think like before I think it was 2021 or something like that, and I did a trial with ENCE before Valde joined, and like it's fine. Like the players decided to go with Valde, and I said maybe like I will join like in the end of like the next player break, and I didn't realize how fast it will be for me join a team and get like a big to win a big event, to be in a semi-finals in Cologne. Like you don't even understand like how much it's important for me.
It must feel like a dream, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But this is like all the hard work that you've been putting in, and I think getting to talk to, I got to speak to Snappi and NertZ just the other day. We were doing a bit of a content piece, and Snappy's talking about him being a player who just comes in and embraces the stage. Like, that to me tells you you're a person built for this environment, right? Like if Snappy's 33 years young, right? He's been doing this an awful long time. He's played with an awful lot of players. He was talking about you and Sampaias as these guys who just come in and embrace the stage and embrace the moment. And there was even an interview he did today regarding the mental of your team. And you must be a component of that because you're one of the recent additions and now things are changing. So like, yeah, I think, you know, maybe it's a dream, maybe it's a bit of a shock, but that's what hard work does. So you should be very proud of yourself, and I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I'm
It's good, right? But this
no, it's fine.
No, this is
emotional.
the stuff.
It's always will be emotional for me because, like, I was in my. I'll tell you like why I'm so emotional. When I turned to 18, like some people in Israel, they need to be in the army, and like you cannot escape it. And like when you have like potentially your peak in 18. You have to be like 3 years and not doing your dream. And when, like, for example, you were like the best player in Israel for like some years, and you need like when you see like flameZ, you see Spinx, you see XPERION, like this guy, like you see like you have a gap that you need to reach, that you have to play, to sacrifice a lot of your time. And when you actually, like, it was a dream for me to actually do it. But when you like, you feel that you actually did it, like you won an event, it's amazing. Like, you don't even understand how much I appreciate that I worked so hard for it.
Yeah, nice to hear, man. That's nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, gentlemen, can you top that, or?
Yeah, we can touch on that. I mean, there's the whole story. We had flameZ on the podcast like a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about like the whole Israeli scene being like very, like all of the players you just mentioned being very, very close, like having barbecues together and all of that. Like how, when you see them play and you see where they are, and like you see yourself, like do you think you're like, I'm on their level, or you're like a humble guy and you're thinking like he's on Vitality because he's much better than me, or like Exertion got this opportunity, I didn't get it, right? How do you see yourself in that moment? Because like I feel like for a player it's very important to have like that self-confidence and have an ego, but also to be humble. So like where do you see yourself in between those three kind of things?
I think there is no doubt that Spinx right now is the best player, like from all of us, for sure. Like there is, like, you don't understand like how much is important for a player to win in a major, and he actually done it. And I feel like XPERION and flameZ are, I will put myself like around Flame, XPERION, and of course me like in the same level, at least right now.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I hope in 2024 it will change.
but this is something that we spoke about, and it's quite curious, right? You talk about who you want to play out of Vitality or Cloud9. Do you want to give that answer?
Yeah, of course. I will say it. I always tell. I was in the elevator with Zyvo and Spinx, and I said like, I really want to meet you. I really want to meet you because I wanna smash you in the semifinals. Because like, it's so. Like it's so, like when I'm playing against Israeli players, like they're my friends, of course, but I feel like it's so personal to win them. I always step up when I'm playing against Israeli players, and I feel like I really want to win them so hard. Like honestly, like you don't even know how much.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I would love to see you going toe to toe. See NertZ going nuclear on the stage, man. Like I can see you getting pumped about it right now. Look, dude, when you're sitting here and I can see it in you, like. I fucking love it. You're
There's the fire. The
yeah,
fire
he's got
is
the
there.
fire.
Yeah.
He's got the fire. Like,
I mean, this is the
it's
reason
firing me up.
why you watch CS, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this guy made a great crossfire play. Like, that is all great. But, like, you also want the drive of the people, you know, because whenever someone puts so much work into something and excels to a certain degree, it becomes kind of an art form in itself, right? And that's the beauty of Counter-Strike.
Especially X Factor players like you, mate, because you make the moments like nuts. Like our expectation goes out the window. Like when you decide it's, you know, mid on ancient, and I'm fucking going. Like when you do those things, that's the moment where you like, Jesus, take the wheel. You're going out there, and we get to see what NertZ has to offer, right? It's really fun. I'll stop gushing over you, Striker. Do you have an actual question?
Are you just that? I mean, we obviously you already won, right? You already won a big event now, so it's not like it's going to be something super new for you for Cologne. But is it still kind of nerve-wracking? Is it still? Do you still have that adrenaline? Like just now, like thinking about the playoffs, you know, thinking about going into Cologne and like, okay, this is my next play.
I think like even now, I'm like yesterday and the day before, I wrote ESL Cologne 2022 to get like these goosebumps when you're watching this event. Like even I was like in IEM Dallas, it was amazing, one of the best moments in my life. But when you see like something like ESL Cologne, you still have these goosebumps. Like I was telling with Sampaios and he told me, you don't understand how does it feel to be like in a round in semifinals. Like I want to feel it.
Do you rewatch like old Colognes or anything like that?
Of course, yeah. Of course, yeah.
This is sick.
But only 2 more days, huh? Yeah, you go sleep tonight. Sleep well if you can. You know, tomorrow night. Are you going tomorrow to watch the matches in the arena?
I don't know yet. Maybe we're gonna practice. I don't really know yet.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's well, because I know some teams they have this. They like to go and they like to be in the arena and they like to feel the vibe and stuff. Because both of those games tomorrow are sick, right? We got the Heroic Astralis match as the second game of the day, the Danish Derby. That should be a banger. And then before that, as the nice little, you know, appetizer, we have Cloud9 with Axile. He made it. Versus Vitality as a banger.
How come that's the first game, by the way?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they didn't think Axel was going to make it, right? And they thought,
sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess in
also Heroic Astralis.
Yeah, it's a bang game.
I mean, it is both are great
the
games.
Friday night fixture.
It's a hard call for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. All right, let's dive a little bit down the history path, should we?
Yeah.
With NertZ. Okay. Now you're an Endpoint alumni. You know, you've been through the MiGHTYMAX school. We got a couple of Brits up here. I'm sure they're MiGHTYMAX fans as well. You know, but what? Why is MiGHTYMAX? Is he a good scout or is he good at teaching you guys? Because what's going on? flameZ went through there. You went through there.
I feel like the unique of like MiGHTYMAX. I would say like MiGHTYMAX and Cyril together. They want like their unique personality that they don't care like if they have good numbers. They want to support like the younger players. Like for example, you'll not see like anyone that actually want like you see you will do everything that the like other player will have the free kill, the good kill, the good duel. You don't understand like you don't have it anymore. Like it's insane like how much they are building the team around the stars. You know, like this is huge shout out for this. Both of
so they're setting up their prospects. They're bringing you guys in. They give you guys everything you need. They want you to thrive, and they understand that's their best way to win it.
And like for example, you will see like when we play against ecos, they will never go for the ecos. They won't like actually. They will do everything for the other players to feel comfortable. Like you will not see any player doing it.
Okay.
It's crazy. I mean, with the
MiGHTYMAX is a bit special and surreal. Sorry, MiGHTYMAX and surreal, the combination.
I mean, I just wanted to ask about the organization. Obviously, you know, as we were saying, like it's one that many of these like up and coming players have gone through, right? And they've consistently, obviously, been able to let these players go. I mean, was this something that's like when you joined them, was this something that you were thinking about? Okay, like this is a place that has already produced some other talent. You know, I'm sure you've talked to flameZ.
Talent farm, yeah. It's a talent farm, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think about it, but just I saw that flameZ was in Endpoint, and I felt like, of course, flameZ is talented, and I didn't think like, okay, I will join Endpoint to, like, they will give me good roles and I will go to a better team. No, I felt like it's a good tier 2 teams, and like when you understood, like I didn't know before, but when I joined them, you understand like how much they sacrifice for the other players. This is like when I joined the team.
Already when like the moment that you joined.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
Like
crazy.
what position you prefer, how do you want to play, like for example, what flash. You will not see like they are unselfish.
Okay, nice. Well, I wanted to ask a question here that maybe not too. Actually, the Germans could. We were talking about how bad their internet was. We spoke about this, but I want you to talk about it again because I think it's important for people to understand the difference in this and why we talk about online and LAN Counter-Strike. I think it's not as big of a thing these days because we don't have online tournaments. But when you're practicing from home, like how much worse is practice because of that, right? Like you can't output as much as you could on LAN, or maybe you can, but you have to play differently. Does it make practice feel like a little bit wasted when you're playing on high ping? Because playing on 80 ping is fucked, mate.
Yeah, obviously, like it's really hard to play with 80. I will tell you, like there is advantage and disadvantage. Probably most of you don't know. When you're playing with high ping, it's easier for you to pick an angles. If you want to hold an angle, you're fucked.
Gotta keep moving.
Just swing.
And that's why you don't
like,
stop moving.
Exactly, but like the annoying thing that you need to change almost your whole gameplay, game style, like because of LAN, because of the ping. Like for example, I'm in LAN, I'm just thinking, I should hold this angle, or I should swing it, or I should move like jiggle. You don't even, sometimes you don't understand like, how you need to play. But after like, for example, 1 week, you understand perfectly what you need to do.
So you think that like for you personally, you have the tournament break. Were you still playing Counter-Strike during the tournament break?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I figured as much, right? Someone as hungry as you, it makes a lot of sense.
How many days like with 0 Counter-Strike did you have?
When I'm home, there is no way that I'm not gonna play like at least 4 games, 3 games.
A day?
Every day, not
every day. There is no way. Like for example, not in pack day. Like if like we off day, player break, I will play every day at least 4 games.
So you didn't take a holiday?
No.
Well, that was your holiday?
No. Like you play at least like the last player breaks. I went to Thailand, like I fly to Thailand, for example. But when I'm in home, I'm always playing.
Okay. Damn. Okay. So yeah, not taking any. Oh, nice. Well, when you get back into practice, like with the team, you then come to an event like this. What you're saying, it's going to take you a week to get up to speed with like being on LAN or lower ping. So should they just like try and move you to somewhere that's lower ping all the time? Get you out to Finland? Get you in Natu's house? He's got enough. I'm sure he's got enough bedrooms. I get you out there. The ping's good in Finland.
Yeah, I mean, like they ask me about it, but it's really hard because sometimes you want to be at home.
Of course.
To play like, I played only one online tournament with ENCE, and it was like, I think like my rating was 0.90 something. Yeah, it's really hard.
Was
like,
this the Brazy party?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
fucked us all in fantasy. I remember that.
I was sorry.
A lot of people picked you. A lot of people picked you. And they were like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, maybe we should have considered his ping.
Yes, we should have. That's all a part of the game.
Oh, now I remember. I needed to go to Madden House. I needed to fly to Montenegro. And like I need to do some stuff about the visa to US. I remember now why I couldn't fly to Finland or Montenegro.
Okay. All right. Let's should we ask him about the current roster a bit? Should we talk about the tournament at the moment?
Yeah.
All right. So the team you find yourself in right now, right? It's I would imagine, right? Does anybody here think ENCE are going to win the whole thing? Okay, you got a couple of fans, but that's kind of my point, is the fact that ENCE is this roster. We see you in IEM Dallas. You got, like you, for example, dycha, some pilots. You got players who can frag, right? That's not a question. But you get slept on a bit, right? You get slept on a bit. So can you try and sell ENCE to some of these fans? You want to convert a couple, or are you going to do it with your play style? Maybe you don't have to do it with your words.
I will say it as a team. Like, at least, like, I feel like we are so unique because you will not see international team chemistry like that. Like,
Oh, okay.
Like the way how we are treating each other, like even like there is, I need to say huge shout out to our coach. We call it Bossman, but it's so like he has insane impact on our play style about like our behavior in this team. But I feel like our chemistry as a team, like it's insane. I'm not talking about the individual that you have. Probably like you have G2, you have Nico, Hunter, Monesi, you have like the Vitality, you have Zybus, Spinx, flameZ, Magisk, but we are not like, we don't have the stars, but as a team, together, we have like something that's nobody has, in my opinion.
I do see that, right? Because I see you guys at a lot of the events. You guys are always like doing something together, playing table tennis. Like it's a very good vibe within the team. I think do you think that's curated by Saw, or do you think that's like each of you are just like it just fits? You think it's a jigsaw puzzle that fits?
I think it's, of course, like it's not this one is not about Saw, but everyone just fits together. Like
So you had to pick the right people for it to work.
But it feels like you've got some good extroverted personalities in your team. Like Senpais, for example, was very vocal when he was on Movistar Riders, right? And he embraces the moment, right? You see but he's like you embrace, but Madden does it as well. He gets big, he yells a lot. Snappi's the same. Dycha, I'd never seen it from him until you guys played against 9. Holy shit.
Even when I watched it, when I was in Svani, I was seeing dycha was always like that. Not even moving.
No, honestly, people, his comms are like this. Let's say there's a guy in Temple that's about to shoot NertZ, and Dycha knows he's there. He'll go, 1 Temple. Like, see, that's the comms. That's how he speaks, no matter what. So to see him standing up and yelling at 9, it was a different person, and I loved it.
What was the reason? Obviously Polish, but like, was there something specific?
I think like obviously he wants to feel like he's the best Polish player.
Yeah.
He wants to feel it, and he is the best Polish player by far, in my opinion. But I want to say, like, on every player that I'm playing with right now, Senpais is very vocal, and he's always cheering for others. Like, he's a really good teammate. Marco is genius in like building set rounds. We are almost not copying other strats. It's most of the times it's So and Snappi. And Madden is our heart of the team. Like when Madden is not happy, we are not happy. It's true. And Pavel is one of the best individuals that I've ever seen. Like you will not believe like what he's doing in practice, and like he's not selfish. Most of us are not selfish, but this team like together, I feel like we are maybe Vitality and Heroic, that nobody is selfish.
I just wanted to pick up on what you just said, if people didn't hear. You said Madden, individual player, like he's an amazing individual player. I had this discussion with someone recently. I'm like, Madden is a fucking great individual player. People are like, no. Look at his stats. Like his stats are one thing. Take into account his fucking roles and what he does for the team, and how literally like he's just gonna run in and die a lot of the times because he's going into like a triple crossfire through a Molotov. And of course he's not gonna have great stats, but like when you see how he plays, when you see the kills that he gets, when he does get the kills, you can see he's fucking amazing.
Impact,
so
me and Sponge talk about it in the interview, but it's so annoying like that people don't even recognize how important to have like this guy that's going first every time, and like you don't get the credit for it. Like this is a bit annoying, but at least in the team we give him the credit. Like he's doing a shit job. Like honestly, a shit position. Like every time we are playing Overpass and playing game, the best position in the map pool, and every time like for example I see him dead, me and him dead. Nice fun position you have in Monster. And we are always joking about it. Maybe NertZ, let's move to Monster, I will go to A. Okay, like
You called Snappi a genius. What do you like about his system, his playstyle?
I can give you an example. We have a round that called, for example, G2. So it will, from game to game, it will change something so small. They change the whole strat, but you'll not even recognize. The other team will think like, okay, they're not doing like, and instantly will like, I don't know how to explain it. For example, you have like split A, G2 split A, for example. It will change like 2 small stuff. They change the whole round, and nobody needs to think about something. NertZ, you need to nade and flash something like that. You're doing the same. Senpais, you flash, and we are doing something like. The enemy team cannot counter us. That's the point. Like
you're hard to read.
Yeah, it's not about like only changing the set rounds. it's creating the set round because most of the set round that we have, Snappi and So created it, changed it a bit.
So there should be a lot of stuff called ENCE.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, hey, that's like you just said a G2 split A for that's like how a lot of this stuff goes, right? You copy from other teams, you build on it, but the more unique you can be, and I guess that's the same. I put your team in a similar category as I would a G2 or a FaZe based on the fact that a lot of the stuff is to get the good players into position to win the rounds, right? Like that's the way Carrigan and Rain will run in, they'll create a mid round and they go, hey, Brokey, Drops, Twists, you guys are good, you better fucking win this situation. Like this is now where you take over the game, right? And I feel like Snappi, through a lot of his faster plays, either just bludgeons people to death, or at least you're in the site, and then you can win the mid rounds, right? You know, you can actually get you, and then your players can show their skill, and that's why when you watch a FaZe, when you watch a G2, or you watch an ENCE, you get excited for the Counter-Strike, because they like to set up clutches. They like to set up, and you know, in traditional stuff, I don't follow fighting, but I listen to what they say to understand how to do my job better, right? And they say styles make fights. It's the same with Counter-Strike. I could watch Virtus Pro versus old Cloud9, and it'll put everybody in this room to sleep, right? Until about to score 14-14. But you watch ENCE versus FaZe on Ancient in Dallas, and you're watching for an hour and a half, but you're on the edge of your seat like it's a blockbuster film shot by Christopher Nolan because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You're waiting for the explosion, and you get a whole lot of them. Like that's what I think with ENCE. They play that same kind of in-your-face style, and it's fun Counter-Strike. Do you like? And that's the thing. You can tell you're having fun when you're playing. You're not playing something that's boring to you. Like you get to do the things you like to do.
Sometimes it's
sometimes. Snappy has to reel in the
What's
leash.
boring? What's boring?
I mean, it's not boring. Sometimes it's a bit annoying, like to. It's not. It's annoying when I'm saying it, like when you're rushing, for example, a lot of times and you're dying. This is the annoying. But the worst thing that you can ever see, like to play against slow teams, and like this is the most boring thing, like for us. Like, bro, please just come and just play the game. It's not fun, but I mean, this is CS. Like you have some team that's playing like that and teams playing like that.
So that's the Virtus Pro loss in that like DreamHack event that you played after Dallas.
I cannot say it.
No comment.
I will not talk about it.
Oh dear. Okay. Do you want to give us? Should we get his opinion on who's going to win the quarterfinals?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think you think Vitality is going to beat Cloud9 because you want to play Spinx and Flames, or do you?
Of course that I want to play Vitality and I want them to win, but
especially because Cloud9 is one of those slow teams, right?
Well, we don't know anymore. Now we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Part of it, but I think like Cloud9 has the best firepower in the world. So I don't know what's gonna happen. But like in Vitality is insane. Like they have insane team right now. They're in good moment right now. So I don't know what's gonna happen. But at least I want that Vitality will win.
All right. Well, we'll go with that.
What about Heroic Astralis?
I think the key in this match is gonna be Device. If Device is gonna fill the game, it's gonna be Astralis. If not, it's gonna be Heroic.
Okay.
So let's assume you're in the grand final. You're in the grand final. Let's envision this.
Okay.
And your opponent is G2, which would match up pretty well map pool wise for you. You ban Inferno, they ban Overpass. You guys are on Overpass. You have a really good map pool at a best of 5.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's one choice. The other choice is reigning major champions with 2 Israelis who you want to beat. Which would you prefer more? Are you driven by the fire to beat them, or would you prefer G2, who, the way I just laid it out, hey, map pool wise, ENCE are actually favored?
It's hard. I would say still Vitality.
One more time for me, mate, because I got Lucas in my ear. I'm gonna have to pull him out.
I prefer like if you mean like what I prefer to play, Vitality or G2?
Yeah.
Vitality.
Okay. All right. Well, that means you've just given us something fun to run with. If it is the ENCE versus Vitality final, that's great. You've just given us a nugget that drives you. No, seriously. When you win a clutch against Spinx and Flames on the stage, and you just go absolutely nuts, you've given the viewer something to be invested in.
I will jump on the table. I will jump on the table and shout like a monkey.
Yeah, but that right there, like that's what it's all about.
To be
right?
fair, Spinx and Flames are probably not going to end up in clutches together. Let's just say.
Hey, come on, man! Anything's possible,
Sometimes.
right? Let's just make that happen. We'll stage around just so we can have that opportunity happen.
Fair enough.
Now, Prof has actually come up with a little special segment here.
Yeah, we have a special segment.
For you, it's the first time we've ever done this.
Yeah.
So I hope you're ready for this.
It's called Nerves of Steel. We have 5 questions for you, and it's not a quiz. It's like questions you need to answer, and you need to answer them truthfully. And like we're gonna be the judge if you're like being honest or not.
Okay.
And then if you do it,
We're going to be the judge. You're going to help us here as well. I can't read that sign.
if you do all 5, we give away the headset to someone in the crowd. If not,
NertZ, this wasn't one of the questions, but the sign says, NertZ, are you single? Asking for a friend.
that's the first question. That's the first question. Let's go.
Well, that's the special number 6.
Yeah, I'm single here.
All right, you got your answer. All right, so Prof.
There we go. I just need to find them.
He's scrolling through.
Have them, yeah. We asked for people from Twitter to ask some. We kind of maybe adjusted some because, you know, just to make them a bit more interesting. We're going to start with some like low balls, easy ones.
Okay.
And then we're going to build up to a bit more. So the first question, this was from Twitter directly. It says, what do you say when you go to your barber to get a haircut? What do you ask for?
I had a barber today, and I said like,
Oh, you went to Lenti?
yeah. He's actually a good guy.
Yeah, that's my
Nice
barber.
guy.
This is barber and barber. Lenti's fucking great. Yeah.
By the way, is it only in Cologne or it's only like every ESL event?
He'll come to Dusseldorf. Well, if you liked him that much, tell your management, and then maybe they can bring him on the road. But it's
That's
just
good.
It's just in Germany.
I told him I like skin fade, and I don't care about low fade, high fade, whatever, and just do what you know. That's what I told him today.
Yeah.
Easy.
I can
So
see that with that barber. He's a man you can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nice.
You also have nice hair. I feel like it's not that difficult. I don't feel like you get like fucked up haircuts.
No.
There you go. Nice. That's amazing. There's another one. What did you feel after getting back-to-back clutches against Heroic?
Ooh.
What was going through your mind?
I was hyped AF because in the first match, nobody from us was shouting. In the second match as well, like, no, I didn't hear anything like from Heroic. I didn't hear anything from them. In the third map, I was playing, and after we lost the round, I don't remember what round it was, and I heard them like shouting, and I instantly, like when I heard it, I was hyped, so hyped, and like instantly after, like I did 1v3 and like this, like the 4 kills in the AK, and I was like, again, there is no hate between me and KD, and I respect him a lot. Like I think like he did an amazing job in Heroic, but I told the guys like, I want like to have like amazing round, and to say to Heroic guys, like again, I don't have anything like against Heroic. I want to say to the guys, you can sit down, chill a bit, you know? And yeah, like it was amazing.
Did you enjoy that atmosphere? I mean, a lot of people were there was a lot of words.
Of course, like I will say something about it because like I feel trash talk is part of the game, and I feel like Cadian is taking too many hate because of it, and I feel like he don't deserve it. When like people don't see it, sport always have trash talk, and some people need to accept it. And this is why it's so nice to play like that. I mean, Sponge, as like in the interview in ESL, I told him this is so fun when you're playing in front of each other. Maybe like in the future, Sponge will do something and we will have like an event like in front of a crowd and like we are playing in front of each other. It will be amazing.
I was selling him on the idea of being able to get them facing each other with like thousands upon thousands of fans bearing down on them, and then he wins a clutch in a 1-on-3 situation, and the score then becomes 14-13, and he breaks the fucking money, and he stands up and he erupts, and the crowd's going fucking nuts, and the other team can't believe it. And I'm trying to get him fired up in an interview, and I'm getting myself fired up. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go, you know? But one day we'll get there. One day
I hope so.
It'll be banging.
Okay, what do you think about this answer? Pretty decent.
Mate,
answer.
that right there is a banging answer.
That's a pretty
10
decent
out of
answer.
10.
Okay, another one. What was the first thing that went through your mind when you won IEM Dallas? Like as the last round is being before you go towards the trophy, like what's going through your mind?
I think in this moment I still didn't realize that I actually won a big event. Honestly, like. But after some moments, when we were like after we were talking like after the team, I said like, oh my God, I actually won. Because like even like you if you see like the VOD from this game, I wasn't even happy, smiling. I was, yeah, it's fine, like chill. And like after it, like I wrote to my family, oh my God, I won like a big event. And like, it's amazing. It's, even like when I won, I didn't even understand it. I actually won it.
Yeah.
You don't like the feeling like it's not with you.
So just numb, like not even processing it. Yeah.
Exactly.
How was
Do you sleep well that night, or do you replay all this stuff? And
Probably not. I don't even remember.
Isn't that the one with the trophy with dycha in bed?
We drank a lot. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Okay.
Who would have?
Oh,
Did
so
you message your family? Were they watching, or was the time zone no good?
Yeah, of course they watched it. They were happy for me.
That's nice. That's nice. Okay.
I think this is kind of connected. Like, do you get nervous before a big match or like a stage game? And if you say no, we're not gonna give away.
No, it's fine. I will tell you something. I don't think like when you're at least like you're nervous before, like when you're in front of the crowd. When I was in IEM Dallas, for example, before you're joining the pieces, you see like the whole crowd in front of you, and yeah, I felt a bit of nervous. But when you're in front of behind the monitor, you don't even like maybe the first round, like a pistol, and after it you forget about it. You're you and the monitor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we have two more. Will you play in an Israeli super team in the future?
That's good. I hope so, because this is my dream the whole time before I joined the international team. I was in-game leader for almost 5 years when I was in Israeli teams.
We found our man.
Huh?
We found our man. Now we just need an AWPer. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
Anarchist is both.
Okay.
Hey, we have Anarchist, we have Shushan, yeah. And I really hope that one of the days I will focus on in-game lead and we will have like good team.
Do you know flameZ's plan?
What?
It's when you guys get old and washed up, like, you know, some like me, then you just start playing as the Israeli super team in Asia, because that's where you guys get to play as Asia, and just farm all of the Asian and Australian teams. Right? Makes sense.
I like that the Australian guy in the audience was the first one to start clapping. He's like, yes, farmers. Let's go.
And the good part of it, that we probably will not have an organization. The all team sticker money will go to us.
Oh, yours.
Exactly like with New Eagles.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, make whatever. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. What's the last question, Mr. Prof?
We have two.
Oh.
Pick one. At the end.
Yeah, I like the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the other one. Yeah. I think because the type of answers he's given, I think he'll give us an interesting one.
Could be an interesting answer. What is stopping ENCE from being the #1 world ranked team?
If Snappi was here, he'd say the Blast events. It's a hard question.
Winning Cologne.
Of course, like winning Cologne is the easiest answer, but
there
like,
you go.
why? Yeah, but
I feel like if we were playing in Blast, like if I understand the question good, like for example, what we need to do to be top 1?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right?
It could be like from a player perspective, from a team perspective.
Make you feel like you're the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to the ranking. Like even if the ranking said you were #2, but you knew you were #1.
I feel like if we will play any big event, it will be easier for us. But I feel like after we won IEM Dallas, we broke like ENCE curse that we didn't win a big event before. But I feel like if we will win ESL Cologne, it will change the whole scene. Like for example, we can actually believe it will be ENCE era.
So it's like a mental thing, you think?
For me at least, yeah. Okay. Because I think like we have the players to do it. And like it's about opportunities right now that we cannot go like, for example, to Blast tournaments right now.
Yeah, it's kind of impossible.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I mean, a lot of people obviously, and if you look at IEM Dallas, you know, and where it was positioned and what's kind of like some teams that were missing out and things like that, obviously it wasn't the major. You know, there was a lot of stuff that that went into that, right? Do you feel just satisfied now in Cologne that you've kind of proven that okay, you do belong in that conversation at least?
For sure. Like for example, I will answer about IEM Dallas before. When you don't have Vitality and Navi in the tournament, this is not tier 1. Like it's a tier 1 event, but this is like not big tournament for me at least. But if you will win ESL Cologne, it will be like, I think a lot of people saying like it's more important than major. So yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know who was that, but we'll blame Lucas. It's all fine. Don't worry, guys. It was Lucas's fault. But yeah, well, yeah, I think if you beat like the teams who are here, I understand like the sentiment. All of the best teams in the world are here. If you win this event, then you're the best. Like you beat everybody. Well, you play who you play, but they're all the best teams at the event. Yeah. Okay. Well, do we want to give away this headset?
Yeah.
Lucas wants us to go to an ad break. Maybe that's why he's fucking with the microphone. All right. This headset, mate, we want to give it away. And well, you answered the nerves of steel, right? So
you passed the test.
You passed the test. You get to pick anybody here in the room to give the headset to. So who wants the headset? Who do you want to give it to?
Whatever.
Do you want to do? We can do a game to determine it. We can ask a question. We can, however you want to work it out.
You'll decide.
You want me to decide?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we asked if there were some some ENCE fans, and those ENCE fans are at the back. Can we? And we have some ENCE. All right, ENCE fans. Would you like to come on down the front here for us? We're gonna have to pick between one of you here. I don't know how we're gonna work it out.
Only the ones who outed themselves as fans at the beginning.
Yeah, the whole audience comes down. Everyone's here. All right, so we have a couple of ENCE fans here. Now let's ask some questions. So let's go in front of the microphone here, ENCE fans. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask some ENCE-related questions, and we'll see how happy we are.
Let's go.
All right. So we've got 3 in total. Let's go with we've got long hair, glasses, and jersey. All right, that's our names. It's the easiest way for me. Oh, okay.
They all have glasses, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but that's why this guy's glasses. Okay. So let's start with this. If you get a question wrong, then you're out. All right, as simple as that. We keep going until I'm just making this up on the fly, guys. This could be the worst thing ever. I'm really sorry. Okay, let's do this one. There's a gentleman who I beat once upon a time, who's Finnish, who still works for ENCE. Do you know his name? Used to be a professional Counter-Strike player, Finnish.
Who's answering first?
Let's go with glasses.
Glasses go first.
Can I phone a friend?
Is your friend one of these two?
What?
Is your friend one of these two? No. All right. Well, what? Can I get? Where are you from?
Finland.
So you should know. Okay.
He's out. He's out.
No, wait. Let me give one more clue.
How many clues does he need?
I want to give an hint. Probably. I will ask a question. You played 1.6?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, he was playing in 1.6. He was one of the in the best
Finnish players
in Finland.
Not Lurpus.
And his first I would say
he's lost.
His first name is Juna.
I don't think.
What?
Juna Leppänen.
Bro, this guy is disqualified. He's disqualified. He's disqualified.
Who?
Natu.
Yes.
Exactly.
He's still in. He's still in. The game show's going well. We're nailing it. All right. Jersey, you're up next. What is the name of the creature on the ENCE jersey?
Enceladus.
Easy.
That's correct. Woo! All right. You're up next, Hair. I got to think of a new question for you. God damn it.
He has a party astronaut today.
He does.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, why not, I guess.
American, let's go.
Down to party. All right, I have to think of a good question about ENCE that I can come up with. This is the worst method of giving.
What was the last big tournament that they won before Dallas? ENCE.
I'm going to brick so my friend here can win. I'm going to say, man, what's the
Here we go.
CCT North Finals 2, of course.
Good answer, good attempt. Not correct. All right.
Probably all right.
All right.
That's a good mate.
Well, we already tried doing old school Finnish Counter-Strike players, and that was too hard. So we're gonna stay away from that here. So we have 2 left.
Maybe one of them can answer the question.
No, there's a new way to do it. It's a really good way. It's a really good way to do things.
Are doing rock, paper, scissors?
It's called look for a coin to toss, but I don't have one. That's the game. Who's got a coin?
I have no, what is this? I have something.
All right, here we go. Here we go, here we go. So it's between the two of you. We're going to go with, this is a euro, as we all know. We're going to go with a number, which we would call tails in Australia. And we're going to go with this bloody looking bird. I don't know, maybe it's an eagle. We'll call that heads. Now, glasses, you get to call. You want heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads? Heads for glasses. Tails. You're the winner. Look, see how easy that is? Congratulations. There we go. I made it really difficult to give stuff away. All right. Well,
You know what's great?
Yeah?
I gave you €2, you gave me one back.
And we're going to go to an ad.
Croatia enters the Eurozone and he's already greedy, man.
Sorry? Oh, yes. Yeah, we might need to get it checked. Regardless, NertZ, thank you for joining us here this evening.
Thank you, guys.
And we're going to an ad break. Be right back.
It's a good vibe, it's a good vibe, it's a good vibe, good vibe.
Best esports odds. VIP program and a variety of bonuses. Fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO matching tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
Do you want to change your boring old skins for awesome new ones fast, without losing a lot of value, and without the risk of getting scammed? Go to tradeit.gg and safely trade your items within 60 seconds. Just select which items you want to trade from your inventory and choose whatever skin you want from TradeIt's inventory. Click Trade, verify the trade on Steam, and you're good to go. With the biggest inventory available for the lowest trading fees on the market, tradeit.gg is your go-to whenever you want to play with new skins.
All right, we're back. Now, most of our live audience is out getting some drinks, which is fine. Everyone, it's all good. We can keep chilling. But Striker and I will be...
We lied a little bit about those 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but
look...
We're going to keep things easy for the next few minutes.
It's a loose 5. So what we'll do in this... Oh, we've got... You bought that today? Oh, okay. From the goodie bag. So that means you've got some primo seating, huh? Okay, nice. Yeah, all right. Do they still do the? They used to call them like the global elite lounges. Are they still those? Okay. I was in the arena today. I was having a look around. It was looking pretty nice in there. Okay, so it's a bit of a retro throwback. All right, that's nice. That's an event tee as well. I saw today for some people, I don't know how many people, but I was at the Lanxess today.
Yeah.
And there's the ESO shop. It's big green building this year. And they already had like fans.
Oh, it's right in front of the arena, right?
Yeah, and people would because this is one of the things that's cool. Yeah, that's the champion hoodie right there. He went with the in-game leader model. Look at this, we're showing off all the merch.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually like that. Yeah, I like the new merch.
The HLTV stuff's in there, is in their shop.
Oh, nice.
Yep,
cool.
they've got the HLTV gear in there. We need to get we need to get like a men's shirt.
A men's shirt?
Yeah, like with the faces.
We kind of do have. Well, I mean, we have the shirt with all the lines.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All that stuff. So we kind of have a men's shirt.
Okay.
I have it here somewhere, but.
Now, what we're going to do is, in the interim, while we wait for everybody to trickle back in, I'll see what Twitch chat is doing. If anybody in Twitch chat has an interesting question, maybe we have some crazy stuff going on where someone in Twitch chat is a friend of someone in the audience. Imagine if we could like have that crazy overlap, right? That would be something.
Set up 2 people on a date or something.
Well, okay. Well, I think we already had that attempted, didn't we? Who else is in chat right now? All right. People are come on, people. They're normally typing out crazy. Right now, it's very quiet. Why did Valve have to do EG so dirty? Twitch chat's really good.
Yeah,
it's
EG
really
have
good.
had it coming for years, man.
No, you're all right. Well,
there's a queue for the bathroom.
Exactly. So it's all good. We're just gonna chill for a bit.
You know what's funny about this? Imagine if ESL actually, ESL and Blast actually did fucking kick out EG for being shit for 7
and
years
then
in a
this
row.
happened?
Maybe if they like made it better teams,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be here now.
That's true. If only good teams played.
The thing is, like, if it was only ESL doing what ESL are doing, maybe it wouldn't be as egregious, and maybe it wouldn't reach this point. Like, it is a completely reasonable thing to think.
That's true.
Like, the way Blast operated did really, ick people extra more than ESL did. And essentially,
a lot of people didn't even realize that ESL were inviting some of the partners for other stuff than league, you know. So
I mean, and people started complaining, not just people, not just us, even though we are somewhat relevant, I would say. But it's also like, if all the players are tweeting like from other teams, like, oh, this is bullshit, this ranking doesn't mean anything, then then it touches Valve. I feel like then they start realizing like that whole
it has an impact.
Is kind of incestuous to some degree, and it's not really conducive to finding the best teams consistently.
Especially, with what.
And especially then we get the major where we get all of these teams in the playoffs that are like, who the fuck are they?
In back-to-back majors as well, right? Where they're a bit more randy. So I think that definitely helped the cause for people to go in this direction. Twitch chat want us to reference Forg. Forg? Oh.
That's him? Legend.
Wait.
Oh, really?
You know Forg from Finland?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, X. That's the new platform, right? Okay, so we had him on already.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Shout out.
Fair enough. Well, I guess are we ready to?
Shout out to Cucumber. That's also a Finnish user.
Oh, it is. Is that
Cucumber?
Okay, that has a cucumber on it. Wow. I never thought I'd see a shirt with a cucumber on it. The things you learn in Cologne. All right.
He's a cucumber, Rick.
Now, our next guests, right, because I know we have some people in the bathroom. They can slowly start filtering back in, just as I'm going to slowly get to the introduction of our next set of guests here.
Yeah.
We have some representation from G2. Now, Zvonimir, took me several years to learn how to say your first name correctly.
Yeah.
Can you help me?
You didn't even try.
I didn't, but I do. It's Zvonimir. I got it now.
You want me to do pizza?
One more time.
Pizza.
And again.
Pizza.
So you're telling me the C is not really a C?
No, it is a C. You're literally saying C is not a C when you want to pronounce C, K. Do you understand how English is the worst language in existence?
What, me and this bloke right here in the front row, mate, you think we got any fucking problems with the English language, mate? I'd wait till,
The Australian language, though.
It's a bit like Tsatanito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right?
Yes, and that was also another difficult one, because I'm thinking cha-cha, right?
Yeah.
But it's like T-S.
Yeah.
You got it right.
That's how, like, in the Balkans, C is pronounced like T.
So how much else have I been getting wrong my entire life?
Everything. All the time.
Okay, well, the manager of G2 named
Peca.
And the coach
Swani.
That one I could have done. Come on down. Hopefully they heard us. Here they come.
They heard. Let's
All
go.
right. Where do we want to seat them? Do we want to put one of them here, one of them here? What are we thinking? How you doing, man? How you going? G'day, g'day. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this microphone up here as well. Gentlemen, take a seat wherever you want. I'm grabbing an extra mic. Hopefully this is fine. No one told me if I can do this or not, but I'm going to do it.
You can do whatever you want, man.
Swani, you need this. This is important for you. We're going to talk to you now.
Thank you.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, bitte?
Ja.
Genau.
Sehr gut.
Yeah. The Germans. There's one.
It's good.
Auf geht's, Junge.
Auf geht's, Digga.
Now, you're the only one who gets to represent Germany in the arena. How do you feel about that?
Exactly. It feels amazing.
Yeah. So you're teaching Justin and Monacy and everyone the words.
They know a lot of words.
Yeah? Or the bad ones?
The good ones.
The good ones, okay. Like, deine Organs sind Verstana.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, still got that one. Haven't forgotten how to say that one. Now, look, coach of G2 right here, manager of G2 down the end. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. But the manager, we have to turn to some very important questions, mate. Where are the players?
Looking forward to it. Sorry?
Where are the players?
Where are the players?
Yeah. What are they doing right now?
Bro, I'm still feeling kind of dizzy. Like, we went to some mini golf, like 3D mini golf. I'm too old for that. So
I think I've been there on a date before.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. So they went to the hotel. They're playing some FaZe, playing DM. So, yeah.
Oh, they're practicing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Mini golf and do interviews.
So
the life of a coach.
So the things are going for quite well for you then, I imagine. Yeah. Okay. So look, maybe Swani, we could start with you because as the only German representative that we have in the Lanxess, you know, you're flying the flag here for the team. So what's Swani's story, right? Because we know that you were the analyst, and then you get the promotion up to being the coach, and well, you've won a couple trophies in that time frame, so things are gonna be pretty good. But if we wanted to know about your journey, because look, mate, coaches and analysts, you know, we don't really know, first of all, where they come from and what they get up to, unless it's like Zonic, right? So what's the Swani story?
The story is pretty simple. I started with alternate ethics in 2015.
Okay, that one everyone should know. The German should know, yeah.
With Crispy.
Ah, yes, okay.
Tizian, Susan, it was a pretty good lineup.
Yes.
Then we won like this VESG.
Okay.
Remember it?
WESG. Yeah.
Like Eternal Fire.
Yep.
2015. It was like one of the only German teams that won the event.
Okay.
And I just did it for fun.
All right.
Like he just asked me randomly if I wanted to help them because we knew each other a pretty long time ago.
Yeah.
And he just asked me, hey, do you want to help us a bit? I was like, yeah, because I never had the ambition to play. I never had the ambition to be an analyst or something. He just asked me, and then I just kind of slipped into it.
Slipped into being a coach of G2, essentially.
As an analyst.
Right?
Yeah. And here I am.
So you went from that alternate attack stuff, were you around the German scene a bit more, or when did you breach out into more international war?
I went international pretty instantly. I went to Liquid. It was like, Liquid was one of the first teams who looked for an analyst. It was like 2017. And from there, I went even more international to SK with Fallen and everyone. And then I kept going Brazilian, Furia. And then I went to G2 for 3.5 years now.
So you've had a lot of influences into you as an individual in the way you see Counter-Strike.
Yeah, exactly. I think I had very good people to learn from. I had Zeus, I had Fallen, even though I didn't understand a lot back from the time.
Speaking Portuguese the whole time,
But like even I had Malek, I had Remy.
Okay.
Like I had really good people to learn from and take the best out of all the worlds and kind of create my own style.
Okay.
What time were you in Liquid? What
2017, 2018.
Oh, okay, not 2019.
No.
Well, he
not
set them
when
up.
they were winning everything.
You set them up. You set them
I
up.
set them
right?
up for
You
success.
know, and then you got out.
It's a good way to look
Plenty
at
of ways to skin a cat, right? So, okay, so you've had an awful lot of experience over your tenure now. Now you're at G2. You get the promotion to being the coach. What's the biggest difference from being the analyst to being the coach?
Well, I guess just that you have to lead the day-to-day operations. You have a lot more responsibilities. You have to make the team kind of work on a personal basis. Because as an analyst, you know, you just do the tasks that you are given. But now you have to create the tasks, kind of.
Do you have an analyst of your own now?
No.
So you do all that stuff still yourself?
Yeah.
So the same way and the new responsibilities of being a coach for the team. Okay.
But it's working pretty well.
We're working on that, though.
Yeah. No, I imagine that's one of the things that you have to balance, right? Because even though you've been doing the analyst role and the coach role has existed for some time, it's still a role that's constantly developing, that we're learning, and is especially unique to each team or each group of players. So I imagine that balance is quite delicate.
Yeah, it's pretty hard because when you're alone, like sometimes you prepare so much for opponents that you forget to look at yourself and your reads, you know?
Okay.
Because we have opponents like in a tournament every other day, and I cannot always look at ourselves, look at the opponent, prepare. It's kind of hard, so it's definitely hard to balance sometimes.
Okay, and this is interesting, right? Because we don't normally have a manager and a coach. We're normally maybe with a coach and an in-game leader, and we talk about that type of dynamic. But what's the relationship like with you as, I guess you're looking at top-down operational stuff. You need to support him, you need to support the team, you need to help everybody. Well, I don't even know where I'd start with the job, mate. You want to give us a bit of an understanding of the day-to-day?
I mean, honestly, our job, like I have an assistant manager and the general manager of the team, besides owning the big schedule and owning the contractual stuff and basically the whole roster.
Making sure they got their jerseys on.
Exactly.
If they don't, the sponsors need to be fucking happy.
Making the decisions about the roster moves, contracts, everything around that. Also trying to assist Svani on day-to-day basis and to make sure that the players can, you know, just focus on what they do the best. So it's our job to make their job easier.
So that's what you've just said there, though.
I mean, his job is NEOC's old job. He's taken over from NEOC.
Yeah, but with NEOC there, I looked at him as more facilitating the team with the statement you've just given, like big picture decisions. You're talking about roster stuff. I'm sure you talk to the players and you consult them and those things will happen. But in the sense that if you're a decision-making force in that, you tell the org, yo, this guy's not performing well. We need to look at this, right? You're talking to the other teams and players. That right there, like, is more of a traditional GM in a traditional sport role. Is it going more that way in your position?
Yeah, I mean, we're combining both. Like, you know, it's kind of sometimes hard because you travel all the time with the boys. Like, you spend 24 hours with them as well. You need to have the right balance between being their friend and being their boss in the same time. So, yeah, it's hard to find the balance, but you need to do both jobs at the same time. There is not a good description of the job, you know? You basically do everything.
It's whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to ask this, and tell me if this is out of school here, but like, if I was in your position and like Justin was in the team, I'm obviously have a bit of a soft spot for Justin, right?
Of course.
Do you have the same thing with Nico and Hunter, or do you have to be a bit more hard? Like, I say I have a soft spot, but also if Justin plays average, I think he played shit. Right? If Justin played great, I think he played amazing.
You have higher expectations.
Exactly, right? But like, yeah, I'm curious, like that dynamic with Hunter, Nico, yourself, like, is that something that you have to tread a bit more carefully, or you've made these clear boundaries?
Honestly, like when I joined this team, I said to myself, and I promised to the management and to everyone around me and to myself that I will not make any boundaries or any decisions based on nationalities or, you know, knowing someone good or, you know, whatever. The ultimate goal is known. Like, we want to be the best team in the world. And I don't care whether, you know, I'm working with Nico, with Hunter, Huxi, or Justin. They're all, or Monesi, obviously. Like, they're all the same to me. Even though, obviously, I know Hunter the best. I used to work with him back in Valiant's days. I was the guy who brought him the first professional contract.
Yeah.
And it feels good to see how well he evolved as a player. And obviously, I've known Nico as well, like, for a long time. But other than that, like, they're all the same to me.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things, right? And in I think Counter-Strike, especially this world, with people who are qualified to understand how to do certain things, you need to have experience. And if you have experience, it means you have baggage with other people. And then you can, like, you see these overlaps. Oh, this guy used to play with this guy. He knew this guy, whatever. Yeah. And that's where those distinctions, like we know in the real world, like a lot of us when we work, like when I was, you know, doing plumbing stuff, well, we're going to go to the boss's place first, aren't we? You know, the job might, you know,
or the mate of the boss.
Exactly,
or, you know.
right? You know, you're not going to go do just some general customers. You're going to go to the boss's place. So, and those things all exist in the real world. And just imagine a Counter-Strike thing where mood is king. Like, that's one of the hardest things I imagine to be able to balance, is because you already have, like with Justin, back in the day, you used to get him a Mars bar and a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and you're good. He's going to drop you 30, right? But
good old days.
Right? And now I imagine it's not that easy. Like, now I imagine there's a lot more that goes into it. And because you know these people, you tend to default to the traps to get you out of problems quicker, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you need to build a structure and a team and everything that operates professionally. And, well, you guys look pretty schmick in your new outfits here.
Thank you.
You know, so that if you all walk around in these, you're already setting the tone. Do you make the boys walk around this in their hotel rooms and stuff, or do they get to wear civvies? They get to wear casual wear.
They get to wear whatever they want, unless, you know, it's not off the brand. So yeah, whatever they feel comfortable in.
But you guys are one of the teams who do probably, and this is not hugely CS in the server related, but you guys are one of the teams who seem to be most in touch with putting content out for the brand, like, and I imagine that's a unique challenge in itself, because I know players don't all love media days. We do several media days, right, throughout an event like this, and they're not always happy. And just like we're all not always happy. So I imagine that as well. It's just, these are the things that people don't even see or think about from a day-to-day Counter-Strike basis that are all happening. And you have to deal with all the bullshit like that.
Yeah, that's a huge challenge, you know, coming into that facilitated org that is, you know, focused that much on creating content. And obviously all of the fans are used to seeing so much quality.
And no players want to make content.
Exactly.
Especially not Hunter.
Exactly. And then, you know, everyone expects results. So you need to make a balance, you know.
Yeah.
You do some content, then you scream, and obviously, the most important thing is will always be competitive results. So that is something that our content crew is not very keen on. Whenever I tell them, yo, we cannot do media day today, but
we're trying to win, guys.
It's all about the balance, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you had to make a roster change yet? Yeah, you joined right after the most recent one happened, right?
I mean, I didn't personally make any roster moves yet, but I cannot.
You
say
also
that
didn't make roster moves, which is a decision in itself.
Yes, exactly. But I have to say that I didn't join in the most beautiful moment of G2 esports in CSGO, to be honest, because at the moment when I joined, The team didn't qualify to Rio.
Yeah.
The situation was a bit dire. We just lost our head coach, so we had to kind of start from scratch with, creating all of the structure, aligning on the values, and basically setting the goals and setting the tone for the future. And I think it worked out pretty decent so far.
I imagine you were involved with getting this guy up to the role of head coach, right?
I'm going to be honest, like we spoke with a lot of people, but at the end of the day, we decided to stick with someone who is dedicated, who is willing to learn, who is passionate about the game, and who knows the players really good. So, I mean, he still have a lot of room to improve, obviously, and we're working day to day with Swani to understand, how better can he become. And so far, he's doing a great job, and I'm pleased to having him next to me.
Thank you.
Nice. Look at that. It's always nice to say some nice things. Now, while we've got everybody's hands moving, and we'll see how many keep clapping, who thinks... well, actually, let's start like this. We'll establish the room first. Any G2 fans?
Hey.
Okay, about as many G2 fans as ENCE fans, actually. So you guys seem underrepresented here. Let me try this one. Who thinks G2 are going to win the whole thing? Okay, well,
sounded a bit better, to be honest.
It was just louder that time. So the jury's still a little bit out, which I think is kind of telling of G2.
Yeah, I just want to say, what do we think about the arena? Is Swani gonna sway the crowd?
Oh, do you think you're gonna get all the support?
Yeah.
I will try my best. I will maybe bring a German flag and
There you
kind
go.
of manipulate the crowd,
Yeah, for sure,
You have to do your best, and yeah.
The standard tactics.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is the thing, you may as well play up to it while you're there. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just building on what Peca said here. I mean, he was talking about improvements and all that stuff. And I mean, everybody likes to talk about what they are good at, what they like excel at. What do you think are the things that Peca was talking about improving? What do you think is the biggest focus for you to improve at the moment?
And I'm going to give you a stare now.
I mean, what I have to improve on?
Yes.
Yeah, what I have to improve on is definitely being like harsher and being like more of a bad guy, because I was always the assistant coach, the analyst, and usually those guys are like the good guys to the players, and the head coach is usually the bad guy. And when I slipped into the role, I kind of have to learn how to be a bad guy, how to be strong to them, like having a strong voice and saying and setting the boundaries, because that's pretty hard sometimes, because you still want to have a good relationship with them, right? And you want to make the team work. So for me, it's really up to, especially in practice days, to say, guys, stop. Like sometimes we troll a bit, and then like saying to people, hey, guys, stop, focus and shit. And it's pretty important for me to learn how to be harsh to people.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's one. And I imagine when you just transition from that, it's also that distinction for them. You kind of having to show a shift in you as a human, right? I guess but that's the thing that you have as a positive in this team, and it's also, I imagine, one of the negatives of this roster too. But the age of it is a bit more mature than some of the other teams, right? Like you're an older roster, which also shortens the longevity of this team. Like it's got a smaller window to win, which I imagine maybe played into the factors of not changing players. So, but them being older probably helps for them to understand your job and how to be there for you as well, right? You have players who, I want to hope here, I'm talking out of my ass. Surely they're mature, right? These guys are more like adults. We got, 27, 28 on some of them? Justin's 27.
Rasmus is 28, Nico is 25, 26? 26.
Yep.
Yeah, Rasmus is the oldest with 28.
Yep. So they
28. So yeah.
Yeah. So everybody
All
should be
around
able to
this
talk to each other like adults at that age, right?
We have Ilya, who is 18.
Yeah,
he's creating a balance.
He's pretty mature.
Yeah.
Is he mature like that from the outside? He seems pretty mature for his age, Monasi.
I mean, he's really good at like handling feedback. Like he doesn't have ego at all. Like he takes critique really well. Whenever you talk with him, whenever you watch something, like he's never really giving you shit back. So he's pretty mature in this area. But yeah, obviously he's still a kid, like he wants to play FaZe more than he wants to watch a demo,
Yeah. I wonder why.
But he's mature for his age for sure. Like.
But the good thing about Ilya, like he really wants to improve. Like every day he's asking for feedback. He's speaking with a lot of players, with Swani, and especially like Nico is his role model. So he listens a lot to him, and that's a good thing about him. And I think he has a really bright future in front of him, just because of the fact that he constantly wants to do better. So yeah.
We had an interview with him, I think a couple of days ago at the media day, and he was saying something about you know, when he first joined the team, you know, he had Jax in the team, you know, and I mean, I guess you can speak to this better a little bit because at least you were around the team at the time, you know. But now, obviously, you know, there's this big gap. At the time, Jax obviously is also much older, but at least there was this kind of like we're both new to speaking English, all this stuff. You know, there was a big vibe between them. Is it difficult to manage the massive age gap that is between him and the rest of the team in any way, or do you think they're good at, you know, kind of including him?
They're really good at including him. I think there's never really a gap or anything. They're like, everyone is like, loves each other. I feel like we could go on vacation together, you know? Like we could do everything together, I feel like, and no one really sees even the age gap because we're all so passionate about the game. And like now we go mini golfing together. We're having a lot of fun. Like
you've activated my trap card here, Swani.
Okay.
You have a very moody team on the cameras. So if everything's so good at the in the romance, you know, the honky dory, I think we'd call it, where I'm from. If everything's great, why sometimes do we have a bunch of moody bitches in the server, mate? It's true. It is true.
I mean, I guess it's a pretty double-edged sword, right? When you get hyped and you feel the game and everything is going well, everyone is happy. But when you start losing, we were just like our own enemy, especially during the USA trip, Washington and Dallas. We were like our own enemy and we just lost to ourselves and we had really bad energy. But I think you saw now during our Cologne one, like everyone was really hyped. Like Rasmus is bringing a lot of energy. I'm trying my best to push them up a lot when someone has a good round. And we were just talking a lot because we weren't really on the same page during this event. And we just had to get our values straight, our vision, like what we want from each other. And
so you locked everybody in a room and you yelled at each other.
Yeah, that's the question. How did you turn it around?
If I can just follow up on this one, like you all have to admit that the first part of the season has been pretty long, and like
for this season.
Yes, for the first part of the season.
Yeah, well, like 2 weeks of blast already, and then you guys were practicing like a week before, so that's already.
No. I'm saying about the beginning of the year.
Oh,
6 months.
Okay,
and like,
sorry. I thought,
you know,
okay,
starting with like we started off with the boot camp, then we went to blast group stages, and then we went to Katowice, and obviously we won it. And then the expectations were set really high. We also set our goals really high. We wanted to qualify for the playoffs of the major. We wanted to win that major. And then when we failed to succeed, to follow that goal, then, you know, somehow it all fall apart. And I don't know if I'm not an expert to say if that's a burnout or, you know, just too much of a pressure to the players, too many travel days. Sure, yeah, we did skip Brazil, but then again, it's been a wild ride for us. We had 2 boot camps, we had so many events to play on, and then ultimately, you know, we failed to capitalize on the last part of you know, the first part of 2023.
Yeah.
So you must be happy though, like with that in mind, that in the future the majors will get moved to the end of the season. Do you think that'll solve a lot of the problems?
I think that's a good decision, to be honest. Yeah, some people don't like it, but I think, you know, it's the major, it's the crown of the season, you know? So you need to focus on that. You need to build up to that point where you actually go out there, you know, and show what you're worth of, and, you know, what did you work on for the whole season in order to get there.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's like a big conversation we have all the time here, how it's going to pan out in a year. Prof, you got a question?
Yeah, just talking about the kind of the end of the season. Obviously, you said wasn't great. The 2 NA events and also the major wasn't what you expected. Everyone was calling for, not everyone, a lot of people are calling for a change.
I mean, let's be real, like 90% of the people were calling.
Yeah, and that is how it is in Counter-Strike, right? If you don't do your goals, and the next 2 events after that, which from my perspective, completely reasonable why you're not doing well, because like the main event that you wanted to win, you didn't win. These events are kind of pointless. They're not pointless, but they're also like, I don't want to say, but you can't really get excited about this stuff.
I mean,
right?
I agree and don't agree. Like, all events are important for us, but then it's also, I agree with you, because it's hard to push the players to,
you know, reinvent something.
To observe the one event the same as the major, or Katowice, or Cologne.
Especially when Dallas comes like literally the week after, and
exactly.
Straight from like the disappointment right into that. I mean,
so did you? The question is, did you consider roster changes? This is for both of you as the coach and as the manager.
I mean, to be honest, we did have talks. We did have multiple talks with several players, and I'm not going to say any names. But yeah, we did consider roster changes. But at the end of the day, we discussed it with every single individual in the team that we potentially wanted to replace. and just decided as a team and as the management group to give them another chance because they deserved it. I mean, they have proven to themselves, they have proven to us, they have proven to the world what they are capable of. And we needed that click again in order to start doing good again. So what we did at the beginning of this season, after the holiday break, we just went to Copenhagen. We observed that event as the boot camp, and we just sit down and discussed, like, what are the things that we need to improve on, and let's try to, you know, instead of putting the big goals on the whiteboard, let's try to divide them into small goals and then focus on them one step at a time. Yeah. Let's try to improve this, that.
So this means instead of the goal being like, let's win the major, the goal is let's be better at trading kills.
Exactly.
Or stuff like that.
Exactly. And I think that's the way to go, like especially in this environment, because if you position your goals too high, it's always, you know, really hard to achieve those. And if you don't achieve those, then you're just, you know, ending up depressed or sad that, you know, you just put your goals too high. And then when you divide them to the small goals that are achievable, you can see improvements every day. And it motivates you, it makes the team atmosphere better, and it forces you basically to do better overall.
Is this a shift in atmosphere in general at G2? I mean, like in the past, like whenever we heard, obviously, well, I will have to say Ocelot, you know, who was the one who was driving a lot of this. Was like, we just need to win. Like, we have to win.
I mean,
we have to be the team that wins.
When you signed Monacy, there was like, this is the guy that's going to win the next major. You know?
Sign him, sign him, sign him, sign him, sign him. That's we got a really good meme going on with that, by the way. It's my favorite in-joke that I have with my little Shine Monash. No one else gets that here. That's fine. Sorry, guys.
But my point is about the pressure, right? I mean, that is a clear change from what you're talking about. Not, you know, putting the pressure so much on the players, like that. Let's win the major. You know, it's more like about these little increments.
I mean, to be honest, I got some gray hair already. I never had them before. So the pressure right now is on me and on the staff crew. And I mean, decision will come from our side at the end of the day, obviously in cooperation with the higher-ups, but they do have a lot of trust, if I'm even able to say ultimate trust in us. And we have just made a decision to rather stick with what we have and create a stability in the team than to try out something new, you know, every time something doesn't work out. Because we trust this group of people. And as I said, like, they have proven that, first of all, they're all hard workers, they want to win, and they know how to win. We've proven that already, no?
True. Katowice. We'll get you look, if you show up in Cologne and you get the two big ones, you just can't win a major this year. So you can't do what Carrigan did. What do you win instead? Can you win anything else? You win Pro League?
There's not a lot of teams that won both Katowice and Cologne.
That's true. So they're still going to quite a club. I wasn't trying to downplay it. I was trying to see how they could build it up and make it better. I know there's no major, but yeah, look, we're dealing with what we can around here. Gentlemen, we got, we're actually flying through the time. Is it actually 10 to 10?
Wow.
No, like, because my time's been wrong all day today. So is it actually 10 to 10?
Oh, it is actually 10 to 10.
Bloody hell. Okay, well, oh, Jesus. Okay, well, I wanted to ask some questions here, right? But we already asked about, like, how moody the players can be from time to time, and it's unlocking them, and we've heard that the mood is better in the camp at the moment this time around, and the results definitely, we're seeing that. You're straight in towards the semifinals. Now you have a couple of off days. Like, how do you make sure that the mood stays in that? Like, I imagine you guys don't even know how to quantify it. Like, when you go into every day, you don't know what you're going to get, or there's signs that you can tell things are going to be a bit rough. Because Hooksy, as a guy who's a good in-game leader, he's a good in-game leader. He doesn't seem like he has any faith in himself. I want to shake him sometimes. I just want to say, man, like, you're good. Like, why do you have so much self-doubt? And that's just from me picking it up from the aura of him sometimes.
I mean, he's working really hard on himself, and in the past he did a mistake of trying to work on 10 things at the same time. And now he figured out that, okay, maybe I have to work on 2 things. Maybe like calling confident, because it makes a big difference in how his call sounds, you know? If it sounds confident, even though it might not be the best call. And then just like one more little thing, like how he positions himself. Rather than then also trying to deathmatch for 2 hours and then doing this on the other side. Now he's focusing on 2 or 3 things, and he's doing a really great job. Like, for now, he's focusing on being a better teammate, and he's doing really well. Like, his energy is up, he's calling really well, he's sounding super confident, and this just lifts up the other players instantly so much. Like, because obviously they follow him, right? He's
But
the
that's his
HL.
role. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
who the team looks to
Exactly.
be that. So like,
and that's what we're trying to do at the moment, just focusing on 2 or 3 points. Like Peca also said, like we don't focus on winning like the tournaments in 3 months. We focus on being a better team by focusing on 2 or 3 little bullet points. And like this is why we are doing pretty well right now. Like we focus a lot on macro right now, like how we move as a unit, especially on CT side, that we are always strong on one side, that we push together, that we don't play 2-2 too much. And it's like those little things that, and then we see that it works really well in practice, and this instantly gives this confidence, because we were missing confidence. Everyone said they're lacking confidence, and you only gain confidence by seeing that we actually progress in practice and everything.
okay. Yeah.
So that's like, we are just focusing on little things, and it shows off really well.
All right, nice. All right, well, we've got a couple of other matches before we get to your semi-final. Do you guys want to help us? Do you have an opinion on who you think is going to win these games? Cloud9 versus Vitality.
Oh, this one is really, really
Coach
rough.
Swani, what do you think?
I think Vitality will win it. But
Okay.
Cloud9, they never played with Exile in officials.
Did
so
you practice them much?
Not with Exile. We didn't play them with Exile.
Oh, okay.
No, we didn't.
I heard they were smashing everyone. Did you hear
That's
that?
that's the word on the street. In
I
practice,
didn't hear
apparently,
it, but
Cloud9
that-
owning everyone.
We were smashing a lot of people on
At least
streams
it
as well.
is.
You know.
So we don't count Scrimbucks. They don't count around here. We can't cash anything with Scrimbucks. Okay, so you think Vitality can win that one?
Yeah, Vitality will win.
Then I feel like Heroic Astralis is a little bit easier. I feel like most people would be leaning Heroic's way. Do you think Astralis can win?
I think Astralis is a really good team right now. Like, I was pretty happy that we beat them as well, because when you
Close
see
game.
Devices playing insane, and I think all the new additions are really good as well, so I think it's not that easy. And Heroic is known to not be that good in the arena as well.
So you think Astralis will win?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Astralis will win.
So Astralis upset?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Upset.
All right, I like that. Now, gentlemen,
Here first.
we're bringing back
Yeah, just wanted to
Skinionaire.
ask some questions. Oh, Skinionaire. Okay.
Skinionaire.
Okay.
And then we can do
after that, a
questions
few
with your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to do Skinionaire, everybody. It's back. We only didn't do it for what? A week? 2 weeks?
Something
Maybe
like
3.
that. Something like that.
But we got a new sponsor.
Sales teams working hard.
They're working out there. We're going to do Skinionaire right now. So we're going to have 5 questions, multiple choice. The 2 of you can work together. Striking can be your lifeline. Actually, use the audience your lifeline if you need it. This one is brought to you by Trade.gg. I'm sure everyone is familiar with how this thing works. We got what's the questions, Prof? What are they based upon?
I don't even remember, honestly.
All right,
It's been a long day.
Screw it. Let's get into it then.
It's like Cologne, maybe some G2 stuff, something like that.
No.
There'll probably be some memes in here then. All right, let's get into this. Lucas, question number 1. Fly her in for us, would you, mate? Including coaches, how many Germans competed at this year's IEM Cologne?
Yeah, this one is for you for sure.
5, 7, or 9?
Tapsen, Grimbo, Gob. No, Grob didn't. Tugux. Does Tugux count as German?
Oh.
He does. He does.
Okay, Tugux. Sensei is Austrian.
Yes.
Does he count as well?
Is Austrian
he's not
German?
No, I think they're not, right?
You answered your own question.
You get to make that decision, I think.
You count yourself?
Yeah. 5.
I think it has to be more than 5, no?
I don't want to give anything away here. Does anyone want to yell out another German player?
I think it's 7.
All right.
We're going to be locking in 7. And the correct...
Can you tell me who it is?
Yeah, Keto.
Ah, Quito.
Yeah, right?
I forgot Quito.
Yeah.
How could you forgot Quito, bro?
Well, he's not on big anymore.
Yeah.
Ah,
Cool,
yeah.
fair enough.
There you go.
Correct
Keto.
answer is?
Who's the 7th one?
Keto's the 7th.
Oh, but I think we had 5, no?
Wasn't it Tabson, Crimbo,
It was 5 from
Prosus,
5 from Big.
Sin.
Roses.
Sin,
Then
Tugux,
Yeah.
Swani?
And Quito.
Will be-
oh, Tugux. Okay, that's the
7.
one I missed. Okay.
There we go. I was like, can I count? I think I
What's
can.
the easiest question?
Yeah, meant to be. Yeah, so
nice.
good luck. Let's get in question number 2. Here we go.
We're so bad in this.
In the top 6 best-rated Cologne group stage players, what percentage is filled by G2 players? We're doing mathematics here this evening.
I know
apparently.
that Tilia is number 1.
33%.
Nico is number 3.
50%.
Okay, so we have 2.
3 or 4?
Is it 3 or 4?
No, I mean Nico is 3 or 4. So Nico is there for sure.
Okay, so we have Ilya, we have Nico, we have who else?
Who else is in the team?
Look, I know Hunter is 1.24. I don't know if that's top 6.
Wow, 1.24 is fucking good.
I don't know if that's top 6. I can't answer, but he's high.
So you're getting trolled right now.
Hooksy in my heart.
Yeah, right, with the win percentage of
was
the rounds,
good, but
maybe.
I think it's
don't think he's the best
133,
rated.
127, 124 for those 3. I don't know if all 3 are there. Though.
But then it's 50 for sure.
50%?
Are you locking it in?
Let's go with 50.
Pat? You go. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's go. I trust you, bro. You said 50.
Yeah, 50.
50, locking in 50%. Correct answer is 50%.
All right.
That's good.
You had confidence. There you go. All right, question number 3. Need to get this is like the lifts in the hotel. G2 missed Cologne in 2019. Why? Qual lost to Liquid, roster change, turned down the invite.
We didn't turn down the invite. For sure.
All right, well, roster change or Qual lost to Liquid.
You were in the team back then.
Yeah, but 2019, bro, I'm old as fuck. I don't remember.
Who won in 2019?
I don't even know what the
Liquid.
Liquid won.
Liquid won.
2019.
Liquid won.
Okay.
They did Grand Slam 2019.
Yep. Does that help you at all?
I guess qualifier lost to Liquid. No, roster changes makes no sense, no?
In 2019, there were roster changes for G2.
Yeah, I know, but why would we lose because of that? Why did we lose?
Well, you got 18
because we didn't play or what?
I don't know. Prof wrote
Pick something.
A or B.
Let's go to qualifier loss to Liquid.
It's very specific, isn't it? It feels like it has to be that one.
It has to be.
Locking in A, Qual lost to Liquid. And the correct answer is Qual lost to Liquid. And I'm pretty sure what happened, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Liquid were not going to go to the event. They were doing...
Liquid skipped the event.
Yeah,
they turned down the
invite. They didn't want to go to Cologne.
They turned down the invite.
And then they were on the spree to win the Grand Slam in 63 days. So then they realized...
There was a last chance qualifier, kind of like a qualifier that was bought, essentially, by
That's
GG
right.
Bet.
Yes, yeah.
And then they won that, beating G2 in the final.
And then they won the whole thing
and they won
$1
the Grand
million.
Slam. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is an insane story when you think about it.
Yeah.
Poor G2 there.
Cool.
Before your
Poor
time.
G2.
Poor G2.
Pizza,
All right.
you have to go now.
Sorry?
You have to go now, Pizza.
Oh, you got to answer one.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see if this one's for you. All right. Question number...
I need you.
What was it, 3 or 4? I think it was 4. Question number 4. Which team would have a 3-time Cologne champion if they won this year? Heroic, Astralis, or Cloud9?
Bro.
Bait the audience. Bait the audience.
Which team would have a 3-time Cologne champion if they won this year?
I know that Astralis never won Cologne.
True.
I would say Astralis, but
never,
I'm not sure about
They never
this.
won Cologne.
Who?
Astralis never won Cologne.
Astralis never won Cologne.
Never is an organization. They never won Cologne. They never won.
Cloud9 won it, but not as Cloud9.
You're on the right track. I like your logic. I'll just say that.
Just one player. Just one player.
Cloud9 because Electronic and Navi. Navi won 2 times.
Oh, true. Navi won 2 times.
Navi won 2 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Locking in C, Cloud9, and the correct answer is C, Cloud9.
Yes, I prepared and I started. Astralis never won.
Do you know that there's even a slight trick in this? There's even because most people won't realize this, but Borup, when he was in Heroic, when we were stuck during the pandemic,
won 2020.
Yes, Cologne was online in 2020. Borup won it with Heroic.
But I mean, come on, like you can't count that as Cologne.
No, but it's a technicality, and
I know it's a
technically it's true. And then the next day, Hunden got banned.
Nice.
That's how it went. All right.
Famous Zipix tweet, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes, that. Yeah. That's aged reportedly. Let's go into the 5th and final question here. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Brought to you by Tradeit.gg. Which map was played the most in Cologne so far, 21 times in total? Anubis, Inferno, or Ancient?
Definitely not Anubis because fuck that map.
Yeah.
Is it combining the play-in and the group?
What?
I
Has
don't
to
get
be
it.
Ancient.
These guys are Is it the play-in and the group?
Sounds like Ancient to
It's
be honest.
Ancient.
Yeah.
Oh, you ever heard? All right.
What you going for?
Let's go with Ancient.
It's Ancient.
Locking in C, Ancient, and the correct answer is B, Inferno.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's definitely not.
The correct answer actually is Ancient. So that's all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a false ending. It's kind of to add drama. It was all intentional. It was planned. No, what happened was, I assume when it was getting filled out, one or two things happened. Prof either gave the wrong answer to Lucas or... never mind. It's Lucas. He just admitted to it. Lucas admits, he puts his hands up, he says he did it. So you got 5 out of 5. Congratulations.
Nice.
Didn't expect this, to be honest.
The first win of many on the weekend, right? You know, this is a flawless victory.
Exactly.
You got a couple more. Yeah, so, you know, you've picked up in a good way here. But, I know it was fucking Ancient because I think I casted almost every single Ancient guy. All I was casting was Ancient. I just kept doing, like, play-ins. The first 3 games I did, I think were Ancient. I was like, how many times can I talk about the same mid-smoke with the mollies either side on Ancient? I was like,
a lot of teams are picking it.
Apparently 21 times.
That's the amount. Okay, and our winner is in the bar, Dealer. Dealer, but spelled with 2 E's, no A, and a lot of R's. Congratulations to Dealer. Our people will reach out to your people, and we'll get you the skin. There you go.
Yeah.
That's who wants to be a Skinionaire. With Trader.gg.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, we cool. You got the stats, man. You happy with that?
Yeah,
I was
just
just like 21 times is crazy because I don't know even if there are 21 matches.
Playing is a part of the tournament, okay?
I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Are there any parting words that you want to give our audience?
We just a few questions.
Oh, that's right, from the audience. That's right. Sorry, Prof. Sorry, man.
I have promised here in the audience we have members of XPERION NXT, which is a
right here at the front
team
here.
over there. So I want.
Let's give them a round of applause. Why not?
If it's okay with you, Chad, I'll walk over there, let them ask Swani maybe a question
Yeah,
about
of course.
like,
Well,
how they could.
they're German, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
We can do it in German.
Yeah.
I'll walk over there.
Expressions of Deutsch.
Maybe they can acquire some knowledge, some wisdom.
Okay.
From the G2 coach.
I'm going to be interested in what type of questions we have coming out.
Firstly, you can introduce yourself just quickly.
Well, hello, yeah, I'm Jansen, basically the in-game leader for the team.
Okay.
Probably the most experienced one. And yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, you're the old guy. How old are you? Where are you from?
I'm 16.
Okay, what's your name?
What the hell?
SteelSeries, yeah, and I'm the opera. So.
My name is Shizi. I'm 18 years old.
Okay, so how are you guys doing? What do you need to improve on? What do you want to ask these gentlemen over here?
Well, I think we have a lot to improve on. You know, most of them, basically we did a casting. You know, like previously Big Academy did it, but we wanted to do it better, and we did it better. And yeah, we casted players. We tried to find out what their strengths are, and we thought that we really need like individually skilled players because everything else we can probably teach them. I think the biggest example of that would probably be Donk. I think he'll probably be insane. He's insane, and they will teach him the other stuff, so that will probably work out. I think they did the same with Monesi, right? He has been insane. His skill ceiling is really high, so they do the same, and now we probably teach them. I, for example, worked with Big as analysts before, so I learned a lot from them, and I think I can teach the other guys some stuff, so we can hopefully improve steadily and then build a really good academy team, or like we're not really academy team of anything, but you know, they are really young. I'm the old guy, so.
Yeah, young team, prospect team. So what do you think, Swani, about teaching, just finding raw, like good aimers, skilled players, and building them up?
Prof, put the mic here, right? You can stay with them, but let's get them on camera.
Okay, we can do that. Is there a camera here?
Yeah, so if you put them right there, yeah, we got a camera on it right now. This is good. Now you stay, you're all good there. This is perfect. This is great. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, come on.
Come, sit with us.
Right, come on in.
Auf geht's.
Take a seat. Jungs.
Auf geht's, Jungs.
All right. Well. We got some new guests here this evening. Okay, so what can Swani help you with? What's the problems?
Tell me, what's the problem?
I think, well, you basically said that Monesi, like, he rather plays FaZe than watches demo. Like, do you think, do you just let him do his thing? Or did you find any way to basically get him to watch demos?
I think it's very important for young players that they have someone who guides them first to watch demos, because sometimes it doesn't make sense for him just to watch a demo, but it has to have a purpose, right? So I think it's really good if you can start by guiding him, and if he sees that, okay, it works, then he will do it by himself, or even with other players. Like, he watches a lot with Nico because they play the same spots. So I think it makes sense that the Orpo is watching with the guy who's playing the spots together, so they have good reactions.
Do you feel that the question he's asking here is directed at you, young Orpa lad on the end? Do you like prefer to watch FaZe than play demos?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah?
So, yeah, I'm parking like all the time, like crazy to improve myself, because last season I played Rifle, and now I just kind of have to come back at the AVP team, so I'm just kind of playing FaZe to improve, and yeah.
Okay,
that is literally like Monesi, by the way. Didn't he start out as a rifler?
Well, that's why
talking about hat trick, actually.
I mean, he can do both really well. Like, he's an insane rifler. Whenever he says, I feel it and I want to rifle, like, he goes Inferno Banana and he just kills 2, and on pistol round, he just says, send me on a mission. I will kill 4 guys. And we just sent him out Mirage A, all of a sudden 4 guys are dead, like.
No, we don't speak about strats here, so let's keep that for the server.
He is really good on going on missions.
So let's go this way, Swani, right? So a Monacy demo is probably not the best demo for an up-and-coming AWPer to want to watch, because they're going to have to watch this kid just flicking everywhere, right? And that's, I assume, not what you teach Monacy. What you teach Monacy is how to be more like a device, right? Or more like an AWPer that can work with... So if you were to pick an AWPer, what type of AWPer would you recommend to watch to learn to play better Counter-Strike?
I mean, first of all, I don't like to say that a player like Monacy should watch device, because I want him to be device, right? Because he is not device.
Yes, you want him to be Monacy.
Yeah, and I want him to still trust his gut feeling and do his plays, because he's Monacy and he's so fucking good that when he sees an opening, when he has a spawn, I want him to do it. I don't want him to be like a full defensive AWPer, like a Shiro kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, if you want to learn the ins and outs, and if you're more defensive, then obviously you should watch an AWPer like Shiro or device.
Are you more defensive or passive? Or aggressive, sorry. Are you an aggressive AWPer?
Yeah.
I should have asked the in-game leader. I don't know why I'm asking you. I get the honest answer over here. Okay, so he should maybe watch Monacy. Oh, that's the thing. You were saying identify the way that works best for them to approach the game.
Yeah, and I think it's also more about watching yourself rather than watching Monacy.
So how do you help the in-game leader nurture a new AWPer, which is like his horse that doesn't have a saddle? Like what do you do?
I think he should have like 2 or 3 plays that he's really comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like he can watch like what Monacy or someone else is doing, like 2 or 3 plays that he's really comfortable with, and build from there. And once you have this, it's more important to watch your own demos rather than watching what everyone else is doing, because it's also team dependent, right? Like a device is playing like a device because he's being set up in this way from the team, and you can't just watch the demo and say, okay, device plays like this, so I implement this into my game style. But I think you can definitely see and watch his reactions, like what he's doing, or how he reacts to what's happening on the map, rather than just watching him and trying to do everything like device does, because it will not work with every team.
Watch your own demos.
That's what I said. It's more important to watch your own demos and improve on yourself.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me, I have a question. Are you by any chance related to a professional player?
Yeah, actually I am. My big brother is Crimbo.
Oh!
Yeah.
What's the age difference between you and Crimbo? What's the age difference?
2 years.
Okay, so you can already see the path. You want to play with him one day, or you want to take these boys to the top?
I mean, obviously it's like a dream to play with him, or like it would be really cool, but I have to get there first.
Sure. Yeah, okay. This is really cool. We love a bit of the, you know, we see this stuff from time to time crop up. That's really cool. So you already know what the path is. You know, the family already knows what has to happen. And maybe it's in the blood, right? Maybe what are you a similar type of player to Crimbo, or are you a different type? Well, yeah, again, the in-game leader. Is he similar or is he different?
I would love him to not be the same player.
Oh.
Because it has like it's some kind of meme that Crimbo is like a beta.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, maybe in Germany.
Like, he's insane. Like I think a lot of people say it, but I think he's like really smart. His approach to the game is really good, and we kind of joke that he's playing like a ret, because sometimes it's really hard to kill him because he just does
very
one
elusive.
legal peek.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And he can't stop holding W. I think it's the opposite type of player.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I see. Fair enough. Well, there you go. You've got polar opposites right there. Okay, that's cool. Do you have a question? Well, I guess you can ask Crimbo. You didn't ask us, Swani. No, I'm joking. Do you have any questions for Swani? No?
Not really, no.
No?
That's
okay.
good, thank you.
There you go. All good. All right. Well, where'd Prof get off to? He disappeared somewhere.
Over here.
Should we wrap this one up? We're going to do the Cologne preview and get everything? All right. Well, awesome. So this is XPERION NXT. If people wanted to watch you play, what tournaments are we playing in, gentlemen?
I think you're probably going to start playing the ESA League.
Okay.
I think they're like open qualifiers right now, but we obviously can't participate because we're here.
Sure.
And then we're going to play the German leagues.
Yes. I think Meisterschaft?
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to work our way up the ladder, and we just improve game by game and see where our road ends.
Auf geht's, Jungs.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Auf
Awesome.
geht's.
Well, yeah, I want to say thank you to the three of you for joining us, and we've
Thank you.
Crimbo's brothers in the building, but also thank you to I'm going to call you Peca. I'm not even no. Help me. Prof couldn't do it. Peca.
Peca? Yeah.
Peca. There we go. I got it.
It's Peca, but like Chad, you can call me whatever you want.
Oh, look at that. And any time. And we got Swani. Thank you very much as well.
Thank
Coach of G2. Can't wait to watch you guys play in the semi-finals. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro. Oh. Get you out of here. Oh yeah, do you guys want to say anything, by the way, before you leave? You wanna talk to the fans at home? You wanna say anything to the people at home?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, all of the G2 Army, for all of the support that you're giving to us. Unfortunately, the results haven't been that great so far, but we're starting to get back on track. So thank you all for your support. I hope that we're gonna see a lot of you coming in the Cathedral of Counter-Strike in Lanxess Arena, and that you're gonna be fucking loud this time. We need it.
All right. Oh, we'll handle that. Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. Get you out of here. Thank you for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. See you later. All right. All right. Well, that was G2. Thank you for giving us their time. And, well, yeah, I guess we're into the home stretch of the show now.
Yes.
Everything kind of calms down ever slightly. And we can just turn our attention to Cologne, and we can get activated again. So, are we going to bring Heccu out?
Yeah, we should bring it on. Whoa, this is loud.
She's out. She's already.
You want to come on?
Yeah, she's already here.
She wants to come on.
Come on in. Here's Heccu. She's just a surprise appearance. When did you get in?
To keep the traditions, put the leg.
I ran out of space. I was doing this one, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's a bit this. I prefer this one.
How do you feel about the couch? I like this couch.
It's quite nice.
I like it more than the couch at home.
I don't think you can't take it. Oh yeah, you need it. Lucas wants you to do this. He's like, there you go.
There you go.
He's happy now. He's happy now. All right. When did you get in, Heccu? When did you arrive?
I arrived today. My plane got delayed. I was stressed out. I arrived to the train 5 minutes late, and the train was not yet there. So, German trains. Thank you very much.
We touched on that as well. Yeah. Now the efficiency here, it's at an all-time high. But look, it's good to have you with us. And you ready to talk about? You've been watching from home. We're going to get into talking about the playoffs now, and we can use you to help us preview. Now, Lucas, as we prepared, we had the groups up. Now we can see if we can bring this up on the
I'm sure this is going to be flawless.
Yes, it's just going to take some time. So that's why I give him a lot of notice, and it will come at some point in the next 5 to 10 minutes. These things, they take time around here. But do we want to start with the playoffs? Do we want to talk about the groups? What do we think? Before we dive directly into talking about the playoffs, is there any sticking points with any teams that anybody has a piece they want to talk about? You upset that Liquid didn't.
I mean, I was going to bring up FaZe. I don't know what this means, by the way.
No, it's coming. The graphics machine, it's just like a normal broadcast.
No, I was going to talk about FaZe just because the way that they went out was kind of abrupt, and they just got destroyed in the two matches that they played in the upper and then lower bracket against G2.
They didn't look like themselves,
G2 and then lower bracket against Navi.
Navi,
there you go.
Yeah, that was their first game of the day on the Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And if they'd won that game, they're going to have to play again against Astralis that night. Right?
It just looked like they just completely were missing individually, which, for FaZe is hard to accept almost.
That's what they're put on. That's the entire team.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about this team being able to get things done. Is a desktop.
There you go.
What do we on it? Make sure there's no naughty links. But that's the premise with FaZe. Like, I kind of think of it the same as G2. They have a good event or they can have a bad event.
Yeah,
but I don't know if teams like that ever go out just in this fashion, especially
more like a whimper.
Yeah,
right. It wasn't really.
It wasn't like one game I can understand, where you just completely go missing. Okay, you've had a rough day or whatever. A couple of players just don't have a good start. All that stuff, But it's 2 games in a row that had happened to them.
Now I didn't see the interview with Carrigan, but I read a comment, and someone could verify this for me.
Like he said people didn't turn on their monitors.
Yeah, is that so? That's not a very normal thing for Carrigan to say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's just referring to the fact to exactly what I was saying. That's that the individuals just didn't turn up.
They weren't.
Brokey was missing for like 3 out of 4 halves in the other series, in the second series against Navi.
And that just can't happen if you're a team of that quality, and that's the way you perform, right? You need your individuals to be able to deliver. Otherwise, you're not going to win games. That's the end of the day for FaZe, right?
Yeah. I mean, they also went through a weird change with Neo coming in instead of Robban, and
do you think
kind of
that
very
negatively affected them a lot, though?
I don't know. I mean, it could just because like the chemistry of the team changes.
Sure, it's a new
and it's not really a
person.
thing you can really easily replace. And they didn't really have the comeback, power to them, which they usually have. Like they're not really a team that gets smashed. Sometimes maybe a map, but not like 2 series in a row. So maybe.
Are you worried about them then? I guess that's the question.
I mean, yeah.
You're worried?
I mean, of course, this is not been the phase that's.
It hasn't been the phase since Cologne last year.
And for them to go out this way is just like another one of those tournaments for them.
So do you think they're going to make a change? Or do you think they should make a change? Those are two completely
they should,
different
honestly,
questions.
even though I don't actually necessarily agree that any single player is a problem, I think just something has to change for them to just get restarted again. I think it's just one of those situations.
Of life.
What, sorry?
A new injection of life.
I think it's just something that no matter if you don't really necessarily blame that player, if you just have like one upgrade, even if you necessarily don't think that the previous player was doing so badly, but if you just have one upgrade, I think it's worth making it at this point.
What do you think, Heccu?
I'm just thinking that one of the changes that will definitely happen for them is the fact that they're going to play a new game. So maybe just the fact that they stay together, they'll be just focusing on, getting used to the game and not just getting used to a new game and also getting used to new teammates.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, because I think for a lot of people, if your hunger's not there when CS2 comes out to geek out and do all the Monacy level like mining of the differences, you get overtaken quite quickly. And especially with the news we had earlier today, whereas if the circuit is going to essentially change in the way that you can qualify for events, you don't get the same opportunities to fuck up and for people to forgive. Because if you fuck up, you don't qualify and you don't get invited to the next ESL or Blast tournament because you can't be. So the stakes of not being invested 100% when this change eventually happens, which isn't until 2025, are going to be through the roof, right? So I guess
have like 2 players from today's roster.
Right? Yeah, if that, right? It could be completely different. It could be a completely different team. Karrigan will be like 35 or 36 by then, right? So like it tells you a whole different world that we're going to be living in. Imagine if we have an in-game leader in CS2 that's 40. That's where we're headed, though.
I mean, we are heading.
This is a question for the audience. Are we going to have a 40-year-old player in CS2? Give me a SteelSeries.
In tier 1, SteelSeries for yes, trade for no.
I mean, CS2 probably will last for a really long time. So
People are very optimistic.
34 right now will turn 40.
So this would be it. It would have to be one of the in-game leaders of now, like a Snappi or a Karrigan or somebody like that, who would keep going.
Or could be like a hunter or something,
That's true too. Yeah, a player who's a fragger now transitioning into
it's like what Karrigan did in 1.6, going from a fragger to an IGL in CSGO.
Yeah,
that could be hunter going from fragger in CSGO to IGL in CS2.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. All right, nice. Well, fuck it. Let's turn to the bracket, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this here. So as we can see on the screen in front of us here, hopefully everybody at home, you can bring it up on HLTV.org yourself. We got Vitality versus Cloud9. That's the first quarter tomorrow, followed by Heroic versus Astralis. That's the blockbuster Danish Derby fixture. Now, I'm curious, with the Danes, which is this contingent right here, and I think the Heroic jersey kind of gives it away, but is the sentiment at home that this is a big deal in Denmark in the news? Is it like, yeah, shit, yeah, the nods? For sure. Okay, so is everybody still an Astralis fan?
What was it called? What was it called? Danske Brage?
Yeah.
How do you guys call it? Like the Danish derby?
Yeah, it's a good name for it. But is it still a larger contingent of Astralis fans or Heroic fans? Is it changed now? So it's Heroic fans now. 50-50. So then this is much juicier. This is even better than it would have been before. But I think the rivalry inside of the server doesn't exist the same way as it did when Glaive was there. That's gone, but organizationally, definitely so. Right? Like you have to look at some of the little details here. And I remember Casper was a part of Heroic for a long time. He's gone to do the manager role over there at Astralis now, right?
Yeah.
Right? And he was part of them throughout all of the hard times. And now he's gone to Astralis. I imagine, that's an interesting relationship now that's been built or broken between, I don't know what's going on there. But I think the beef would come more from the Heroic players against Astralis than it would from the Astralis players against Heroic.
It's funny how it feels like Heroic still have more to prove, even though they've been the better team for the last 2 years.
Yeah. No, I feel that too.
How's that? Yeah, how does that
But
make
it's because
sense?
of the titles. Because Astralis, they got to be the Grand Slam winners, the
but
major
that's
winners.
ancient history
and Heroic,
now.
they keep on being really close and then winning one LAN in the end.
Yeah. But they won Washington and they won Copenhagen last year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So Copenhagen's a big trophy for them.
I think the shift comes just from Astralis and people kind of giving up on them being a top team, and now we've almost restarted the cycle, where they are now coming back into the position where they can work, I can speak.
No, I'm with you.
Work their way back up It's hard to say.
No, but and this kind of a matchup right here, it's a game that, like, we had Swani, and Swani just said he thinks Astralis are going to win. But you've got Burrup, who's never played in that type of environment before. I was talking to him and Snappi about it the other day. He played at like an epicenter event with a crowd, so but it's different stakes, different vibe. You've got Buzz and you've got Stare, and none of those guys have much experience in an environment like this. And you're talking into a place. You guys all saw NertZ when he was talking about this. You saw like what it meant to somebody like him, and he's part of a team which is straight towards the semis and off winning. Like they know what it feels like to. So you have to wonder and you have to worry if you're an Astralis fan how those young guns are going to be affected. And then you sit there and you think, well, Blame F doesn't even have that much arena experience, and he's aware of that, right? Even though he's a great fragger and he's the in-game leader of this team, he also doesn't have a huge amount of arena experience. So we get to see that come into play here. Device could actually just go bananas, though. Like, he really could. Device is in some fantastic form. Like, that's the biggest thing I think Astralis have going for them. He could take over a game. Like, I think that he shows more attitude now, not just outside of the server, but in the server than he ever did when he was playing in the Astralis dominant era.
But I also think that like all the pressure is now on Heroic, even though like all the rivalry stuff and stuff like that, like especially from those three players we're talking about, maybe not necessarily Boro because he has some former teammates in Heroic, so there could be some beef, some nerves.
He just seems like a nice guy.
He seems like that too, and
he's
he's not going to be the guy who decides the game. Let's be honest as well. Like he's not in those positions. But for Buzz and Stare, I mean, this is their like okay, this is what their second. Well, not even for Stare. For Buzz, this is like his second stage game. They're not. This is literally their first big events together with the new lineup. They've already passed the point of where they probably expected to place at in Cologne. You know, so at this point, like, what do they have to lose? I don't think this is especially Buzz after that game that he had against Na'Vi. I mean, like that's a peak that we have never seen from him, and that comes just before the playoffs. You know, so I think just because of the pressure point, I think there's a real chance that Astralis win.
Really?
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Well, let's get the temperature test of the audience here. Let's go. Let's go Trade It GG for Heroic, and let's go SteelSeries for Astralis. Actually,
That's
a mixed bag.
Pretty.
You were pretty
50-50.
convincing then, Striker, I'd say.
Kind of 50-50.
Yeah, okay. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Oh, are we taking the middle ground down here at the front?
middle ground people.
Everybody wins, I guess. Okay. So we've got a couple people with a 22-bet sign up there. Okay, all right. Interesting. That is interesting. I didn't think it would be so split. I thought that most of you would have had Heroic on lock there. I'm very interested about that.
I don't know.
Just the Device romantic storyline, you know?
I was just gonna say, I don't
We're
know
all
if
in love
being
with
too romantic or whatever, but like the Astralis lineup finally fucking makes sense. Like this is the first Astralis lineup that makes sense since I don't know when.
And they've had some big wins. Some of their victories were very dominant as well, which I think is a very positive sign. But yeah, you can tell it's a new Astralis and it's a new direction, and I think all of that is great. But I still think Heroic are going to win. I
mean, they should. Look, they are the favorites. There's no doubt. Like, they have the experience. They have probably the form as well in terms of individuals. So, like, they definitely should win. But I think it's not so obvious.
All right, well, let's see out of the four of us. Heroic? Heroic.
Yes. I'll go with Astralis just because of my entire point.
Heroic.
Like, I've built it up too much now to go for Heroic.
All right, so we would have Heroic winning this one, which would set us up with a G2 versus Heroic semi-final, which was the grand final of Katowice at the start of this year. Which we all know best of five, how that all went down, right? Let's finish the other quarterfinal. So Vitality versus Cloud9. Now, if we're doing romantic, we'll start with the audience first this time. Who thinks, let's go SteelSeries for Vitality, and we'll go Trade It GG for Cloud9. Oh, that. Okay.
So mostly more Vitality.
I thought that this one would have been as split as... Well, more split than the other one. I know the other one we said was a 50-50, but in similar fashion, right? Because this one here, I think, and you guys can help me with this, in terms of roster changes of all time, this must rank in like the top 5, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, if we go all the way back into 1.6 in the early days, then debates start going crazy. But if we just look at CSGO, right, this has to be a top 5 easy. And then you consider pound for pound, player for player, the firepower that's possible in this roster. It is a very scary beast, right? But that's where the romance comes into it. Because Axel just rocked up last night. He just rocked up last night. In terms of what they were scrambling with, they would have been practicing with Buster. They would have been focusing to play the arena with Buster, not knowing that Axel could make it. And then once he gets there, now you change focus. All the pressure has just been turned back on. That valve that was released because Buster was playing, and you could play a bit more whimsically, and you didn't worry so much, and you still wanted to win because they're competitors. But
I
the
mean,
pressure wasn't there.
Realistically, though, I don't think they were expecting to win against Vitality with the form they were in. I mean, look at their, like, if you look at the routes that Cloud9
It was
had,
labored.
It was very bad
labored.
as well, like, in terms of teams that they faced. I mean, they lost to Fnatic in the opening game, and then they had Gamer Legion at the end. They had Apex, and not Into the Breach. It was somebody else that I'm just missing now. Monty. There we go. There we go. One of those, another one of those teams. That's, you know, that route, it's all teams that changed and all the teams that kind of overperformed at the major, you know, so you don't know what their form would have been like anyway, you know, so it's kind of like with Buster, they probably already weren't expecting to beat Vitality, so at this point they're just kind of like, okay, now we have a chance.
Okay, all right. Well, what do we think? Heccu, who do you think is going to win this one?
I don't know, like, I like the current, like, Cloud9 so much.
Right?
They're, like, so good. Like, you have, like, Exile, you have Shiro, and just, like, felt like, yeah, like, the first time they brought in Hobbit instead of Supra, that's how they brought in, like, the experience. But Hobbit, like, as, like, during the interview, like, you guys, like, did with Electronic, that, like, okay, Electronic is still, like, the main caller, and Shiro is helping. And that's what was always, like, for Cloud9. Shiro was always vocal. And now, like, Electronic can share this experience. Like, Hobbit is experienced, but, like, he will not be sharing that information that much during the game. Now with Electronic, like, he's vocal, he's aggressive, he has experience, and he's actually, like,
he's skillful as well.
And he's skillful.
I also think that, like, I don't know if you saw, like, some of the moments from Electronic and stuff like that. Like, he fucking meant it. Like, he was in the tournaments to do something there. Like, there was no like, we're just playing with a stand-in. Like, we don't want to put expectations too high. No, he was pissed off sometimes where, okay, they're not doing what they're supposed to. So it's like,
and it also feels like he's really enjoying it.
Yeah,
like, but he's like sitting next to Shiro, they're like looking at each other, like, yeah. The way, like, how he looks like, it kind of feels like if he's playing, and I'm not saying like he's playing the game for the first time, but it's like as if he's playing it differently now. Like, it feels differently for him.
Yeah, for sure.
I sense that too.
At the end of the day, he left the team with simple, you know, he has something to prove. He can't just be like, oh, well, we're top 10 in the world. It's like, no, like, he left this team to play with a team that can be number one, that can build an era. Like, they said it twice, like Perfecto said it, you know, the word era.
Yeah.
Electronic said they're going out there and, like,
it's premeditated.
There's no fucking around with this team.
Yeah.
They just want to win. And that's good. I don't think they win here.
Okay.
I think it's unreasonable.
Do you think the type of dialogue that, like,
he had no faith even from the beginning of the tournament. I have no expectations. They fucking made the playoffs with Buster.
No, I mean, I hope for them to do well, but like, I'm not going to judge them based on their first
you're not going to
tournament.
critique them too hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think it's, like, quite unfair? Do you, like, the dialogue that I'm having where I'm like, shit, like, this is a really crazy roster and anything's possible and maybe they could win. And then you go, but they're playing Vitality with Zywoo, the best player in the world, who had just won the previous major and replaced Dupree with flameZ, who I think most people agree is like a firepower upgrade. Do you think, like, the Vitality camp, if they're here, like, that kind of direction, of they take exception to it? Like, they should be
like, offended by the narrative.
By the fact that it's like, this new team can beat us? What? You know?
No, I mean, I like what I saw from Cloud9 as the tournament progressed, like, more and more.
Okay.
But it's still, as a striker talked about their run and the teams that they have in front of them, like, I don't see them beating 3 of these teams. With Exile playing his first fucking game with this, you know, they're reshuffling the lineup again. Some of the spots that they were playing aren't going to be the spots that they are going to be playing now with like Buster coming in. They did adapt a bit. So it doesn't make sense to me that they would go all the way. But again, that being said, if they do, then we're, like, in a completely new territory with this team.
Well, let's go. I'm going to go for Cloud9 because I'm insane. To
Vitality?
Vitality.
Vitality is,
I have 2 Cloud9 players in fantasy.
Oh, I haven't made my team yet. Well, we can't split it 50-50. Well, no, we can. And then Heccu?
Cloud9.
Oh, we can't do that.
Why would
the audience said Vitality, though.
I know, but that's 2 versus 3. Lucas, tell me, who do you think is going to win?
Why you went
AFK. I wanted it to draw, and that way we would just have to go with Vitality because they're the favorite. I think we need to be sensible, don't we? We can be dreamers. We can dream big.
We can dream.
But should we?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we should.
We go with Cloud9.
Just go with
Sorry,
Cloud9.
Prof, you've been outvoted here. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Man, I'm just waiting for them to get smashed in that quarterfinal.
All right. Well,
The audience hates you.
That means that ENCE won't get the opportunity to play against Vitality. I presented this. I presented this fictitious scenario where NertZ could play them in the grand final, even though it's not possible.
And that's the reason why I would want that.
The room, you don't give a fuck.
That is the reason why I would want that to happen, by the way, just because of the NertZ storyline. Like, I would be excited. I would be excited for that, Tommy, for sure.
No, like that's why I was trying to give him the idea, because I wanted to investigate just how much he wants to beat his countrymen.
Right.
And the fact that if Vitality could be in the grand final and he would still prefer, like, dude, you could play against G2, a team who you're going to have a map pool advantage over. He's like, nah, fuck it. Like, I love that. That's so baller. Unfortunately, can't happen. Okay, so G2 Heroic. Who wins? Let's go with the crowd again. SteelSeries for Heroic. Let's go with Trade It for G2.
Okay, G2 favorite, I would say a lot.
Yeah, G2 are favored. G2 are favored.
Fan favorites.
Okay. Fair enough. I see that. Well, they did make it straight towards the semis. They did beat them in.
Man, they have a pretty impressive run.
Good tournament run, yeah.
With the teams they beat.
Astralis, who made it to the playoffs, obviously look a lot better than they did before.
Yeah.
It was a close game, but still, like, that is a decent start. FaZe, Vitality, not Vitality.
They beat Vitality as the last team
Vitality,
to get to the semis,
yeah. FaZe, Vitality. FaZe was the second one.
It just feels like Heroic is always such a safe pick until the grand finals.
So you think that they should win because it's not a grand final? Like, it's not an unreasonable thing to say, to be honest.
I'll say like this: like when I'm looking at this bracket, right? Like, and over like all of the tournaments, right? Like, if we're thinking about like throughout the year, what are the important tournaments? That will be like the majors, obviously. There'll be like Katowice and Cologne and maybe like Blast World Finals. Like, we can have a discussion about that, right? So we look at Vitality. They got a major win, amazing. Then there's Astralis. That right? They have a legacy. But the current Astralis is absolutely not the same Astralis they were put at the last, like, quite recently, maybe not yet worked hard to work for, like, this title, right? Like, then we have G2. They won Katowice. They got, like, that big title. And we have ENCE that I feel like approximately, like, this, like, core, like, started going up during EPL of 2022. So, like, it's just, what I'm going to is, like, to Cloud9 and Heroic, the two teams that were those like online teams that won like some really good titles, maybe like even I believe
a few big tournaments.
Like, but specifically like online. So like in my fantasy, especially considering that CSGO is coming to an end, and this might be like potentially like the biggest, that like the last big event for CSGO, because what's next? There's no Katowice.
G8.
There are some tournaments, but nothing on this scale.
But something that has a legacy, something that like will keep on being discussed like during a desk.
Until next Katowice, right?
Yeah, and we don't know like if that's gonna be CS:GO.
We got no idea.
We don't know.
Hopefully it's CS.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's CS2.
So basically, in my fantasy, it's like I want either Heroic or Cloud9 to lift a trophy here in Cologne, because I feel like those teams have been grinding like through the pandemic and struggled so much that like I want them to.
You've made it very desperate for them here, Heccu. You've basically said, "Hey guys, everything you worked for, it could all be worth nothing if you don't win here in Cologne."
Oh.
It's a better framing. It makes things more cutthroat. And it makes it a little bit more interesting. So that's why you're going with Heroic.
Yeah.
Okay, with your heart.
But you don't need to agree with me. That's the beauty. Like,
fine,
it's a discussion. Like, my heart says like it should.
No, I have to agree. So I'm picking Heroic now as well. I'm sorry.
Striker?
I'll go with G2.
Okay.
I'll go with G2 just from
their form's been good.
I think it's like it's not even Hunter, because he has been like really high up, but it's also JKS. Like whenever JKS is the guy who's like making differences in some of these positions, you know, where he gets like a triple on the anchor side, you know, that's like does remind me of like the Katowice and World Final run where they just had 4 players firing on all cylinders. And JKS was just like, well, the 4th one who was running it out, and I think this is a similar form.
G2. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna go with G2 as well. Are you actually gonna copy Heccu and go with Heroic?
I can be alone. It's fine.
No, I'm gonna side for G2 for this time.
Okay, and you, for the same reason, you're citing form. You think it's a similar feeling, or do you think it's something different?
Just form.
All right. Well, let's go with G2 to the grand final. Our first team locked in, and then ENCE versus Cloud9. I have to go with ENCE. How can I not go with ENCE? I love me a bit of ENCE.
Why?
We've literally just made a fucking point for them to beat Vitality. I mean, how are we?
Well, who? Cloud9?
9.
Yeah, but this is why, because I don't think that's going to happen. I only did it because I'm crazy. I didn't think you guys were going to side with me. I thought it was going to be ENCE versus Vitality, and then ENCE versus G2 is the final.
What you should have done is just switched back, so we're back on track. You're like blaming us that we're like the ones.
So now I have to convince you that ENCE are going to beat Cloud9.
You can't.
Here they're on
opium. I literally just made a point for them to beat Vitality, who I think is a better team.
Yeah,
than
fair
ENCE.
enough. All right, well, let me tell you. We can agree with a consensus, but we're obviously not. We probably won't lock in the result I think is going to happen. In my world, ENCE versus G2 grand final, and I think ENCE can win it. That's my thought.
I also feel like ENCE could win it.
Which would be crazy.
I think literally anybody other than Astralis can win this event.
Yeah. No, he's not being a dick. He's being right.
Classic striker, non-intentional BM.
Yeah,
I love it.
It makes a lot of sense. Everybody else probably has a decent case you could make to win the event.
Yeah.
Whereas if Astralis won it, it would be the biggest dark horse victory.
Yeah, that'll be really crazy. I mean, that's way too far. Like for everybody else, you can make a case, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. What do we think? We'll get the audience to. We'll get the SteelSeries for ENCE. We'll go trade it for Cloud9. And we'll let the audience decide on this one.
That is ENCE.
Nerds turn these people.
All right. ENCE win. ENCE versus G2. And we don't need to do the grand final.
We don't do the grand final.
We don't do the grand final.
We don't do the
We
grand
don't need
final.
to do the grand final.
We
We're
don't
happy
do the
with
grand
this.
final.
We've made the bracket. Lucas put ENCE through. Okay. Well, Prof.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it a coincidence that like ENCE and G2 were here and they're the ones we put in the grand final?
Well, is it also a coincidence that ENCE and G2 are the two teams who earned their way into the semifinals? But also, yes, they did bribe us. So, yeah, well done, Heccu. You spotted that one. Now, look, I think that any configuration, I agree with Striker's sentiment, that if Astralis go deep, Astralis could probably beat Heroic, but if Astralis go deep and get to the final, that's going to blow all of our expectations out the water. But every other team there has a real strong case that you could make to win the event. So this is it. I don't think anybody is right or anybody is wrong. Anything is possible.
I mean, someone's going to be right and someone's going to be wrong. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is a competition.
This is like what the entire point that we're making here. This is going to be an exciting playoffs.
Yes, and with that said, it'll probably be a bunch of 2-0s. So you know, that's where our lovely audience comes into play, right? Like you guys got to bring the energy. If the game's not so much, we got to get it out of you guys. So hopefully the game's delivered because it's set up to do exactly that. Now I need to confer with Prof right in front of all of you here. So Prof, it's almost 10:30. Yep. You're the timekeeper. What would you like me to do?
We have a ticket here that we can give away, and then we can.
Mr. Apex, give us a wave.
He doesn't want to wave. He's very shy.
Right. Hi. Thank you for the ticket. So it's one ticket. So does anybody here not have a ticket? One person. So you can't even go anyway. So if we gave you the ticket, it would be pointless.
You wouldn't skip school or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't skip holiday.
So there's only one person here without a ticket, and they can't go. Is there anybody here?
Who has a friend?
I need honesty.
That has a friend that
I
would
need
go.
honesty. Is there anybody who has a friend or a +1 that they would take if they had an extra
there's
ticket?
one.
There's one.
There's one.
Mr. Hat Mustache, and there's two. There's one or two over here. Okay, so there's 3 individuals. Do we make them fight to the death?
This guy has a Splice jersey. He's been through shit.
There's 1v1. Oh, you want to give it to him because he wore a Splice jersey? Is that the criteria now?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Okay, so if everybody's paying attention, you just have to rock up wearing a jersey of a team that was never very successful. A what? On you right now?
If you're too ashamed to support your team, then
nice try. Nice try.
I do appreciate the attempt.
Yes.
Do you have any tattoos of bad Counter-Strike teams? I'm just checking. You never know. Sumdar Young's got one for the rest of his life. Actually, no. Spirit might be good again. You know, we talked about it was. You know.
SDY.
Do you want to give it to?
Let's give it to Splice guy. Let's give it to Splice guy.
Splice guy because he's got a shirt.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really easy, man. You wake up, you put on a shirt, and you win a ticket to IEM Cologne 2023. Apparently. Congratulations, and thank you to Mr. Apex up here. So thank you very much, Mr. Apex. All right, well, there we go. Who thought? I didn't think that was going to...
We kind of have to close the show.
Why?
Like, it's not like we have... I mean, we're 10:30, 10:40.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That's what we promised to the nice people here working, you know?
This is the thing.
It's not just about us, unfortunately.
No, that is true. And it never,
Unfortunately.
It never has been. It never has been. But I always enjoy these live shows.
Yeah.
It's always nice. And again, and especially all of the familiar faces who have come again and you listen to us constantly talk. I don't know why you do it to yourself, but thank you very much. And with this stuff, as usual, you know, I always like to get a little bit more
personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. Like where we pointed, Heccu's come here. She's pointed out this whole transition of video game and everything like that. And we've spoken about this in the past of different generations of people, but like we're in a really unique spot in Counter-Strike history right now. And I think everybody who enjoys watching it and is here along for the ride right now, like with the news that we had today from Valve and a new game on the way, and everybody who loves it the way we love it right now, the future is really bright for the thing that we enjoy doing. Like it is, like I am scared because the future is uncertain, but in a way that I don't know where we're going to go. But I'm telling you, we're going somewhere.
The things that Axel coming back for the playoffs does to you.
Right? Yeah, right? There's one little detail. Have an Axel here. Hold up. What do we say here? Hold up.
Sponge sign fraud.
Yeah, we can do that.
HLTV shirt. We're going to do something.
Once we close down, we'll go out there. We'll have a chat with everybody before we all go home. So everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to another HLTV Confirmed Live. And yeah, thank you for enjoying Counter-Strike, because tomorrow we're about to go into a very special place. A place.
The Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, the name, right? I like Lucas's tweet. He made a tweet with a multiple choice.
What is Lucas?
Yeah.
What is
it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind.
It is a state of mind.
Because there is
the Hall of Heroes.
There's a difference to this event with a lot of other events, is that people come here for the love of the game, right? And you get a very impartial crowd, and you get people here. The streets are littered with people in Counter-Strike jerseys, and it's great. The city comes alive, and you're all a part of that. And I just want to say thank you. And you know who else I'll say thank you to? Our sponsors, right? Thank you to SteelSeries, 22Bet, Tradeit.gg, and of course XPERION for having us here today yet again. We have done back-to-back years of live shows in the same venue. So
great place.
Maybe we'll be back here again next year. So yeah, thank you for your time. Anything anybody wants to say before we go?
Give them some love on the social media and stuff like that. That goes a long way.
Wonderful. All right, thank you everybody. Thank you for another HLTV Confirmed. Good night.
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament.